Oh, snap. What do you know about that? A little Semtex for your ass. Thank you for joining me. It's Friday. It's snowing like a motherfucker. We are in the Snowmageddon 2021. Do me a favor, check out Anti-Broadcasting. If you're looking to get some t-shirts done, Anti-Broadcasting Incorporated custom screen printing, antibroadcasting@gmail.com or 612-836-9488. Some homies of mine that do some screen printing stuff, and they are fantastic at it. Give them a shout if you want to get some screen printing done. Again, that's antibroadcasting@gmail.com, 612-836-9488. Let me see here. Where am I at? Oh, yes. Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective. If you're looking to get some tattoo work done, I know they do fantastic gift cards and giveaways and all that stuff for Christmas and the holiday time. So make sure you hit them up. Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective over Minneapolis, 612-353-4755. That's lowbrowsaints@gmail.com. Hit them up. Let them know I sent you. They will get you hooked up. I hope you are all doing well and you're safe and you had a good week. I want to apologize. I did a music podcast just the other day, last week, featuring music from Broadnex, as a rapper from Louisiana that I really enjoy. And I just did a music podcast and did some music. So if you're looking for episode 152 or 252, it is it's just audio, so it's all just how I found Broadnex, what I found on the internet for his music, and hopefully he'll be dropping a new album really soon. I know he just dropped a single, but check out that podcast. You can look at that or listen to that on ritualmadnesspodcast.com or Stitcher or iTunes or iHeartRadio, all kinds of other fancy schmancy stuff. My guest tonight is Craig Rosen's beard. How's your beard doing today?
Well, I do believe. Got some oil in it, feeling fresh.
Nice. What kind of oils do you use for that thing?
I'm a pretty cheap dude, so
Yeah.
I literally just buy some regular Moroccan argan oil.
Yeah.
And then put some different scents in it. Cheap stuff I get from Colburn's.
Yeah. Just some just like some essential oils,
Yep.
or what, stuff that you
Regular
really
oil.
like.
Just get some Texas cedar wood and some tea tree oil. That's about all I do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay someone $20 for 2 ounces of oil that
Yeah.
they made.
You want to move the mic up just a little bit because it's actually cutting out from the. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Much better.
I can hear me now.
Much better. There you go.
Right on.
So let me see here. So you're an avid outdoorsman.
Yes, sir.
You're a mad carpenter.
I believe so.
And you're a metal enthusiast, as I can tell by the down shirt there.
I try to be. I'm not as much as many are, but I do love me some metal music, yes.
Yeah, awesome. So we work together. We kind of stumbled upon each other at different job sites saying what's up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My admiration for your giant beard. I'm like, dude, yes, nice chin strap, that type of shit.
Yep.
And you've been a watcher of the podcast for a little while.
Yep, I'll never forget it. I remember you were filling up my lift, and you were like, "Oh, you like metal music?" I'm like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." You're like, "Oh yeah, like Pantera, Slayer, stuff like that." I'm like, "Hell yeah, yeah." He's like, "Oh, you should check out my band." And in my head, I'm thinking, "Oh great, this guy's got a garage band." I'm like, "Yeah, it's Outside the Murder." I go inside, type it into YouTube, hit play, and I'm just like, "Holy shit, this dude's legit, man! This is awesome." I'm like, I was thoroughly impressed. I listened to every song on there, and I'm like, damn.
You even showed it to a couple different people too. That's kind of funny, is because other people will come up and go, dude, Craig played your band for me. I'm like, no way, dude.
Yeah, it was good.
I appreciate that very much.
No problem. It's that good. You got to share it.
So it kind of, I found out, I remember if we talked about it or if you had posted something about it, but you were talking about firearm safety courses that you teach, actually.
Yep. A couple years ago, I got certified to be a firearm safety instructor. My dad had been pushing me for a few years. I helped with classes and just regular for probably 5-6 years, I think.
Sure.
Since my daughter was probably a couple years old.
Right.
And then my dad's like, just go get certified. We're going to do an instructor course. It's pretty simple. The instructor course is just basic, like laws and stuff. Like you can't have one-on-one with the student. You have to have 2 instructors per student. You have to have so many kids. Just a bunch of legal jargon kind of shit that goes with teaching, I guess.
Right.
And it's like, I'm obviously not a teacher.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even like teachers in school. That's why I dropped out and started working, you know? So it's like, but then to go back in and start doing this is like, I was really nervous to do it. My dad's pushing me to do it. And it's like, I just don't feel like I'm ready to do it. And then finally just did it. And I'm really glad I did.
Well, let me back up a little bit though. So how long have you been using a firearm? When did you take your first course?
I took a course when I was 12 years old, and I know some of the instructors are still instructors. So it's like, and I'm 37 years old, so 25 years ago I took my course, and it's like, there's one that still teaches with us, and he's ready to be done, I think, you know, and he's a great instructor.
Like he's going to turn into dust or something?
Well, pretty close. No, he's not that old, but he's just ready to be done, you know. There's new kids walking in. We had like 18 people show up to our course to become instructors, you know, so. Yeah. And
now all over the metro, all, you know, in certain spots, like, where do you teach? Like, what part of the?
Solely in Princeton, I guess, in my local area where I grew up.
Okay.
And we put together a pretty thorough course compared to most, is what we've heard from many.
Right.
This, like with our field trip day, we're very lucky to go to the Minnesota Sportsman's Club.
Sure.
Great facility. They got indoor archery ranges. They got multiple trap houses for trap leagues, shooting skeet and stuff like that. They got long range. They got short range. They do 3D shoots where they're walking through the trails in the woods, and there's 3D targets out everywhere. Nice. So we go out and take these kids through the woods. We put them on a fake blood trail. We put them in hunting situations.
Nice.
They get the option to shoot trap, and
that's awesome. That's super fun.
It's really good because these kids are 12, and 12-year-old kids seem to be a lot smaller than I thought I was when I was 12.
Yeah.
So seeing some of these kids grab a 20-gauge shotgun, and
like bigger than them.
Well, just about. You know, some of the kids, you know, they're leaning way back and struggling with it kind of. But then as soon as they shoot it, they're like, "This is fun."
Yeah.
We had one girl that showed up, and she never shot trap before, never shot a shotgun before. She smoked all 5 clay pigeons.
Nice.
She walked away with a smile on her face, like, "This is fun."
Yeah. You just got shown up by a girl.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had one kid that showed up or got in line, and he shot twice. Like, I think I'm done. Because they kick pretty good. If you're not ready for it, you're not into you're not shouldering that firearm properly. It can kick pretty dang good. And he shot twice, and everybody else went through the line. And I looked back at him. I said, "Do you want to take your 3 other rounds? You get 5 chances." He's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And he came back, shot his other 3, and just loved it. Had fun.
Hell yeah.
This
is a really good question. Adam D's in the house. Always a avid watcher and hangs out with us in the chat room all the time, and fantastic guitar player and vocalist as well. Mr. Craig, what would you recommend for a person who has never owned a gun before? Which firearm would you recommend for a person's first firearm?
A 12-gauge shotgun is very versatile. You can shoot birdshot, go hunt birds with it. You can shoot buckshot for self-defense in your home. You can shoot a 1-ounce slug and drop a deer at 100 yards.
Right.
They're very effective firearm. Don't tell Joe Biden, but they are way more effective than any AR-15.
Right.
They have way more power. They're way more versatile. You can buy them in so many different orientations of semi-auto, break action, single shot. You know, they're just an undeniably unbeatable gun kind of thing.
Yeah.
Most of them are damn near fail-proof. You get an 870 Winchester.
You have any with you?
I do have right here. Winchester. This is my 18th birthday present, if you guys can all see that.
Yep, you're right in the camera perfectly.
This is a Mossberg 500, simple pump action 12-gauge shotgun. Do that, you get another bullet in there.
And you scare the living shit out of everybody that's in a gangster movie. That's the sound that you hear all the time. Here comes chuck chuck.
Someone walks in your door and they hear that, they're going to turn around and run before they hear it go off.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
This one didn't look so cool before when I got it. When my birthday, it was at a family gathering, fall harvest kind of party thing, and we shoot clay pigeons, have a big fire and everything. Went shoot doubles at a clay pigeon, and I went to pump the action, and the forend split in my hand. This piece with the wood forend split in my hand.
Oh wow!
My dad looked at me and says, "Well, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas, a new stock for your shotgun."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, ATI makes a good adjustable stock with a pistol grip." And literally won $1 bet for my brother shooting clay pigeons like this, one-handed with it.
Wow, going
it's
street with it, going gangster with it.
One-handed sideways and everything, yeah. So
That's crazy.
12-gauge shotgun's probably going to be one of your most versatile guns.
Yeah.
You could swing it like a bat. When you're out of ammunition, it's still going to be effective.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure, man. That's a good piece, and a good, you know what I mean. You can do everything with it. So, Emily A says hi, Craig.
Hey, it's Chase. That's my nephew.
Hey, Chase. Welcome to the show.
That means
don't mind my horrible
language.
Yeah, language is bad.
I wondered if they're going to be watching. That means my daughter's probably watching and Grandpa Chuck's probably watching. No.
Well, thank you for joining. So I'll try to keep it as PG as I possibly can. But thanks for coming in and bringing all this stuff. So what do you have in front of you? What is some of the stuff that you have here?
I have the regular. I guess this is an older one, but this is the Hunter Education Youth Firearm Safety Manual. This is what we give the students, and this is what I tell them. You read this book cover to cover, you're going to pass the test. Simple as that. It has all the information that you need to be a safe, ethical hunter.
Sure.
And I guess I got the 3-ring binder that I was given when I was certified, and it has a little more legal jargon in the front, I guess, and how they suggest you go over a lesson plan and this and that. But we pretty much just open up the manual and go through the manual with the kids and
sure.
start one. You know, it's.
So let me ask you. So how old do you need to be to actually take the course or to actually work a firearm?
Yeah, you can take the firearm safety class when you're 11 years old. You will receive your certificate on your 12th birthday because you need to be 12 to get your certificate.
Okay.
And I think, like I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty sure at 10 years old you can do an apprenticeship hunt within arm's reach of a parent.
Okay.
So you can
just in case they got to give you one.
That's just it. Yeah, wake you up. Hey, there's a deer out there. Right. That was my first deer season. My dad woke me up, said, "Hey, there's a deer out there," and then he shot it.
Now, what was the how did you feel when you were in that situation? Because I remember when I went pheasant hunting.
Yeah.
You know, you get out there and the dogs start scaring them up, and you put it up there and you're ready to go.
Yep.
I remember my heart just pounding, and I've never hunted deer before, so.
Yeah, you go from half asleep doing this stuff, and then all of a sudden you hear something crunch in the woods, and it's like, okay, in my tent, I'm watching, and then all of a sudden you see a deer, and your heart wants to beat out of your chest. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then to take the shot, watch that deer drop, and then harvest that animal and eat it.
Now when in the course, now you want to teach them where the proper spot is to hit them as well, right?
Yep, where they go through shot placement and where the vitals are located on many different animals. Actually, the whole back half of the manual is a bunch of waterfowl information, all kinds of stuff in there that we really don't go over because it's general firearm safety. We let them know when they leave, you're taking this manual with you. Feel free to, because when it comes to duck hunting, male and female ducks are drastically different in color, and you can only take said number of this and said number of that.
Right.
And you need to know that, or you're breaking the law. And your DNR they're out there. There's few of them. There's very few of them, but they're out there, and they'll find you, and they'll know when you're doing something wrong.
Right.
So it's like,
they've been out there a while. Some of them, you know. What I mean?
To do it right, it's the right thing to do. I mean, you want to harvest a surplus of animal. You don't want to waste that. You know, and do it wrong. It's completely wasted meat and Yep.
So how long have you been hunting? You said since you've been 12?
I think I was 13 was my first year. So yeah, it's close to 25 years.
Oh, that's a good long time. And how long did you say your dad was doing this too? Teaching?
He's been teaching the course, I think 15, 16 years or something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's just a volunteer thing. We're not getting paid for it, you know. Like people doing conceal and carry classes, they're making good money. Yeah. Which they should. There's a lot more to that, you know. But
now do you have your conceal and carry as well?
Yes, I do. Yep. I've this like 6th year. I just redid it not long ago.
Now, what made you want to do that? Like like when you start. So you've had it for quite some time.
Yeah, it's been 6 years now. I've had my carry permit.
Okay.
And I pretty much got it just because of all the talks of laws changing and people, you know, just the shit you hear on the government and all that bullshit. You know, and trying to take guns away. It's like, well, I'm going to get it now. So if it comes down to it, I'm grandfathered in kind of thing, you know, and I want it. Right. Not that I feel like I need it every day. I used to carry to work, but then you can't carry on most job sites. I'd have to try and comfortably holster in my boot or something, because I wear pouches around my waist.
Yep.
Or I'd have to have like a detective thing or something, you know, and I'm a fat, sweaty guy, so it's like I'm not going to be wearing a harness like or a holster like that or nothing. So my firearm's sitting in my car then, downtown Minneapolis. It's a pretty dark place.
Yeah.
Sorry, some people love it, some people hate it, but
Sure.
I don't want my firearm sitting in that parking lot vulnerable for someone to just smash a window, grab my gun.
Right.
Not only is it
Not that you're going to have it sitting on the seat, but
Right.
if somebody goes in there,
Right.
sees a CD sitting on the
Yep.
thing, they might get it, or
Yeah, simple as that.
change in your ashtray or whatever.
Yep. So now it's like I'll carry, not all the time, not like 100% of the time I'm carrying a gun, but
Yeah.
if I'm not carrying a gun, I got a big knife in my pocket.
Sure.
So try to be ready to
Skin a deer at any time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get you.
eat it right there. Yes. That is
Let me see here. What let me see here. Mr. Craig, would you recommend pistols? Let me see here. If so, what kind of pistol? Colt Single Army. What did he say? Colt Single Army is my favorite because of the old school of it. However, I know that it's not a practical. Just a question.
So I guess with like pistols, there's so many different options out there. You're gonna want to find out what fits your hand, what's gonna fit your waistband. If you're carrying it, in your waistband or in your pocket or whatever, they make some pretty dainty little small pistols.
Yeah.
And they fit right in your pocket. But the way I grip a pistol, I'll put my non-dominant hand on the front of the trigger guard, and the end of the barrel's right there to the point of where you're gonna burn your finger holding it like that.
Yeah.
So it's like an old Colt single action. Yeah, that'll work. You're going to cock that hammer, pull the trigger, and it's going to work dang near every time, guaranteed. A revolver is a pretty fail-safe gun.
And they've got some now that have no hammer on the back of them as well, so you're not going to snag them.
Yep, it's not going to snag coming out of your pocket. I believe Smith & Wesson makes a 327 now with an 8-round drum.
Nice.
So it's a little fatter, but it's still very concealable.
Yeah. And
It's like-
I think, just from my own personal things from shooting, I know that caliber's a really big thing too. You don't want to get something that's going to be really squirrely if you have big hands as well, right?
That's a matter of opinion. So many
Sure.
people argue over 9/45 and this over that. I mean, you can get an FN57 that shoots a teeny little bullet, but it's going so fast that it'll rip right through fucking Kevlar.
Right.
So it's like, and then it'll hold 20 rounds.
Sure.
And it's still a concealable, manageable size pistol. So it's like, there's so many options out there. I would just say, go to a place like, what is it, Bud's Gun Shop or Bill's?
Bill's
Gun Shop. You can rent a gun, buy the ammo, and shoot it, and you can find out what fits your hand, what you like, what's comfortable, and that's
There's so many different options with extendable magazines,
Yep.
or you know what I mean,
Yep,
all that
everything.
stuff.
I have a Performance Center Shield 9mm. Excuse me. And I like it because it's small. It's a 9mm. It's comfortable in my hand. It's ported, so when you shoot it, it stays on target. It doesn't recoil up. It recoils back.
Yeah.
Very manageable pistol, even for small
And
hands.
and honestly, if you're not used to shooting at all, what he just talked about, it jumping up and not, and having it jump back instead of up,
Yep.
means so much when
Just
you're
to
when you're
control
trying to
that
stay.
recoil
Yeah.
and get it back on target as fast as possible
Yep.
for a safety situation. But yeah, that Performance Center Shield is the small one. They also have a full size, or my dad ended up buying the 45 Performance Center, which is just a little bigger.
Mhm.
I mean, you can put the guns side by side, and mine's about an 1/8 inch thinner,
Yeah.
and about a 1/4 inch shorter, or lengthwise shorter, and a 1/4 inch in height-wise shorter, maybe.
Right.
They're very comparable. That's another thing we do in classes. I'll bring mine, he'll bring his, and then he also has a full-size M&P 45, which aesthetically look the same. Like if I were to go like this, look at this one, and then look at this one, you'd be like, they look the same.
Yeah, you just showed
Just
the same
bigger
thing.
in size,
Right.
you know? So it's like 1, 2, and 3. I mean, get them to fit your hand, get them the caliber you want to, and it's like,
Bob's your uncle.
Yep, everybody has an opinion on it too. So it's like, go out and shoot and find what you like. Simple as that.
Yeah.
When it comes to a gun like that.
Forgive me for this one. Heavy question. Not my intention to ask him something. Hold on, I can't fucking read. However, have you ever had to pull your weapon to protect yourself from an animal or a person?
No, thank God I haven't. I would not want to be in that position, and I feel for anybody that has, because that's something that's really going to change your opinion on life in general, I think. You know?
And we had this conversation right before we went on the air too,
Yeah.
and Craig was saying that it's just a situation that you don't want to find yourself in, but if you do need to,
Right.
it's always there for you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel I'm pretty good with a firearm. I don't exactly sit and practice on holstering my weapon and doing that to be ready. It's like I know where it is on my body. I know how it functions in my hand. I feel like, yes, I could defend myself pretty quick or defend my family or someone in danger. But, yeah, I still hope and pray that I never have to.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
Well, and you probably come across this too, and being young and having friends or people that that,
Yeah.
they have that, they want to do
Yeah,
that
they
type of
wanna get
thing.
into it. That's another
I know
thing.
so many people that are like that, and it's just, to me, blows me away because we were talking about this again off the air. I remember the first time that I shot a firearm and shaking and going,
Yeah.
and my friend go, yeah, you pussy, that type of thing. But realizing that just one,
Yep, one single trigger pull.
that's it.
And you
It could,
cannot take that bullet back.
yep, change your
that's-
life forever.
It's like the 3 rules of firearm safety is treat every firearm as it's loaded, muzzle control, keep that in a safe direction, and knowing your target and beyond. It's like, because you cannot call that bullet back. When you pull that trigger, it's gone.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a very
Real-
serious thing.
Yeah, real deal, man, real
you know?
deal.
So,
Now, so when you start this, you give them one of the manuals and you set them down and you start going through this thing with them.
yep, we go through page by page for the most part, and just, I mean, it starts with the message to the parents. We read that, and then we play a little movie before the parents leave, and I explain the movie a little bit to you. It's fairly old. It's a VHS, and it's a kid not paying attention to firearm safety, and the instructor saying, "Hey, better pay attention. This might be very important in your life someday." And then goes on to show this kid messaging his buddy like, "Hey, my folks are gone for the weekend. Do you want to come over where I can get the 22 out and we can go do some shooting?" He's like, "I don't know, man. Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, it'll be just fine. We got plenty of ammo. It'll be fun. I can get the gun out. We can go have fun." So they end up doing it. They go out and have a good time. Last shot is what the movie's called. They go out and set up. They got 10 rounds left. They set up 10 pop cans. First kid shoots 4, misses 1. The second guy shoots 3, misses 2. So he shot his 5, hands the gun to him with 5 more rounds. Guy shoots 4, he won. So he didn't shoot that last round. He goes over to kick the last can down, slips and falls, and he wasn't handling that firearm properly to the point where he would have fell with it safely. The gun went flying, shot his buddy. His buddy died shortly after in the hospital. He went to prison. It was based on a true story. There's a picture of his mug shot in jail afterwards. And it's like, these kids watch this movie first thing in class, and it's like, that dude just killed his friend. So it's like,
At that age too, they're super impressionable with that
so
stuff.
that kind of sets the tone for our class to just be like, you need to pay attention. It's as simple as that. This is no joke. I mean, like I said before, normally last few years we do this in a church that we rented space from and in front of 12-year-old kids, and like now my kids are watching, but whatever, I'm here, and it's like, I listen to your podcast, you guys talk about some funny shit, and it's like, just being able to swear and be in my free will right now, it's like I don't have kids watching me, so it's like a little different context here, but yeah, and I guess to jump around like I do, even in class, I guess I kind of do that too, but it's like, what really got me hooked is after one of the first classes I helped with, and me and my wife and daughter are walking through Walmart, grocery shopping. Yeah. And this young girl comes up to me, hey, guess what I did? And I'm looking at her for a second like, who the hell are you? She's like, I shot a deer. And then it clicked, and I recognized her. I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. High-fived her, and I just about cried in Walmart. I felt so freaking awesome. Like, she was just so happy to be out there in the woods and doing that. Like her family's done, and it's this tradition, and she's involved in it now, and she just loved it. And that really brought me back to class the next year. Is like, these kids just sit there and look up at you, and they absorb what you're saying, and it's like,
dude, it's like being on stage.
Yeah,
that's how that feels.
I guess it could be.
When someone comes up and goes, dude, I saw you, or they say, dude, I remember you back then. To me, that it's like, I want to do that more.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you.
Dude. Yeah. That's killer, dude. That's killer. So do you have your kids done this course, or
Actually, my daughter's 10.
Okay.
And it was, I think we do 3 nights of class, then a field day, and then another night of class, and then test night. And it was like test night. She's like, Dad, I want to go to class with you. I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to partake in the class. You're not old enough yet, but it's test night, so you're going to sit there and be quiet. You cannot interrupt our class. That's fine. That's fine. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to have her take the test.
Yeah.
She didn't go through any of the course. I've never really sat down with her. I mean, she shot pellet guns a few times, so just basic stuff, you know. She was, I think, probably 8 when we first started shooting a pellet gun or something. And I got her test right here. It's actually kind of great. It made me proud. She actually had the wrong manual because we had one of the older manuals, but she took her test and she got the first question wrong and then 5 right and then a couple wrong and then 2 more right and 2 more right over here, but then her questions weren't lining up. After halfway through, the questions changed.
Oh.
So she's like, I got confused because he was reading the question and it wasn't the same one, so she just stopped.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, either way, you got a lot of good questions right here. It's like, and I haven't even taught this class to you yet. So it's like, I have a feeling she's going to ace the test.
Yeah.
I
And she's interested in it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool.
God,
I wish my daughter knew how to use a firearm.
Last fall, another one of our instructor's daughters went through it, and I think she got 1 wrong.
Oh, wow.
And it was a silly mistake, I think.
Yeah.
Because we'll go through the test. It's 50 questions, multiple choice. And then we go back through. Once they're done, we'll grade them. And then we'll go back through every question just so every kid understands everything.
Right.
Okay, who got number 1 wrong? Nobody. Okay, who got number 2 wrong? Okay, one of you got number 2 wrong. We'll go back over it and make sure they understand what they did, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not like we're just guaranteeing you to pass, but we're going to make damn sure that you understand this firearm safety because it's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like,
dude, that's huge.
Yeah.
You're giving these kids, man, a real good experience with it. You know what I mean? And
I hope so.
Well, and I kind of brought this up too before we went on the air, and we are kind of talking about the stuff with school shootings and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate the stuff that happened in Detroit, and I mean all over the damn place with these school shootings and shit.
Yeah.
Now I had a question for you. Do you think that these kids had a chance to take any kind of safety courses? I've never researched any of it, so I don't know.
When I was 12, when I took my class, it was through the Princeton education system.
Yeah.
And we literally took it at the school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and every boy that I knew of wanted to get that to go hunt and do everything with their dad and stuff like that, you know? So it's like, I know in inner city stuff, it's a lot different. And it's like, so if it was an option and it was available there and it should be regular, I mean, there's so many guns in America that it should be a regular thing to teach these kids firearm safety.
Right.
I mean, I think it would change things drastically. Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Now, and that's how I feel about you know the conceal and carry thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just don't know who has one.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it kind of keeps people in check to a point. You know, obviously there's road rage, there's craziness, there's just, you know, people doing stupid stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
But to me, the respecting of a firearm, you know what I mean? Like learning what it does, what it's capable of, for sure, man.
Yep.
You know, and you know, like you said, outside the city, completely different than. I don't even think they offer, you know, things like that in inner city, but they should.
Yeah, they definitely should. That's for sure. I think.
Yeah.
I think it would definitely change things, you know, and I guess just being city and rural living is a lot different too, because most people rural living, if they're on the edges of town, they can hunt in their backyard.
Right.
You know, people who live in the cities got to go up to different national wildlife refuges and stuff like that to go hunting. So it's further inconvenient for them, and it's not as regular for them, I guess. So I guess it is a little different in the city than like that. Yeah.
What was your feeling when you harvested your first deer? Like that whole process, because you have to field dress that bad boy right there, don't you?
Yep. Well, actually, I think my dad showed me how to do the first one.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're on your own. So, and then, so next year, I mean.
Now, there's vitals that you don't want to hit either in that whole thing because it'll ruin the meat, correct?
Yeah. I mean, if you were to interrupt the bladder and stuff like that urine gets on the meat, that can go bad real quick.
Wow.
Or a few years down the road, I ended up taking a fairly sloppy shot, or I might have hit a twig and it veered off a little bit, but I hit a little further back to where this deer was sitting on a cornfield all night chewing up corn and grass, and when I shot it, it hit the belly, blew it open. It didn't go far because I hit the back of the lung and the stomach.
Yeah.
It didn't go far. It was still an effective kill. And when I started cutting that thing open, it was rancid. I mean, the smell of, you ever drove by a farm when they're grinding corn?
Yeah.
It's not a very good smell.
No.
And then imagine the stomach acids and all that stuff in there. It's like, it was hilarious because my dad's holding the legs and I'm trying to get through this and I'm puking off to the side as I'm trying to field dress this deer and my dad's up there. Ooh, that smell. Smell of death surrounds you. And I look up at him. Hell yeah. It's like, I'm, laughing situation, but still I'm just puking. And it's like, and after that gut shot, that's when I started the in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, I do believe I'm pretty proficient with a rifle. I've hunted with the same 270 Savage Model 110 for years. I know I can put it on target.
Yeah.
So next year, right between the eyes, deer fell to the ground, didn't move.
Yeah.
Most effective shot you can get. Risky, if you graze it, it's not a good idea. It's like, but I was confident in my shot, so I did it.
Yeah.
And it worked. And I got a Euro mount where they'd leave the antlers on the skull and you just skin it and bleach it or whatever.
Yeah.
So you got the whole bones and stuff, like a cow skull kind
Yeah.
of thing. And there's right down the line in the bone, you can see there's a hole about a bag the size of a 270
That's
caliber.
sick.
Yep, and it kind of went off the one side and blew out the most of it. And it's like, we go over there's different stages of a hunter goes through, and it's like the sportsman and this and that. And that's when I realized I had a cousin comment, and I posted a picture, shot a deer in the face, and there's blood everywhere. And it's like, you're not presenting as a good sportsman as you're presenting your kill like that. You know, it's like back in the 70s when the guy would have the buck, across the hood of the car, and the mom and kids are in there like, oh my God, there's a dead deer over there, and it's like, that's when I started to learn stuff about that, when I kind of changed my ways of hunting and stuff like that. So it's like,
so what is it? Drop them down. What do you got there?
Let me just find this, I guess. Yeah, and it was like, I think it was probably my second or third year when I actually realized that I'm going through these stages as a hunter, and it's amazing to see once you do it. I gotta find out.
Like you want to shoot.
Yeah, to like the limit out stage where you want to shoot everything you can just because you can.
Yeah.
And then it gets down to like the ways of hunting where you're going to do everything as proper as you can to set up the greatest deer stand, the best blind with all the scents, killers, like I said, I should have studied a little bit. And I usually do this with class too. As a guy, I better study and go through the manual just to freshen up, and then I never do.
You fly by the seat of your pants,
So
and
then I'm in class like, okay, hold on a second, let me just find this here.
they're 12. They're probably just going, oh man.
Yep. Okay, here we go. The progression of a hunter. Hunters. Let's see. Hunters age and gain experience. They find satisfaction in different aspects of the hunt. For the beginning hunters, it is often get a lot of shooting in and reaching their bag limits. And the shooter stage is where you're out there, you're going to shoot it.
Blasting everything.
Yeah, you're going to shoot at anything you want. The limit out stage is where you're going to do your best to just fill your bag limit. You're going to go home with 10 pheasants every day if that's the limit, stuff like that. And then the trophy stage where you get to where, okay, I'm not going to shoot that little buck till he comes by next year when he's got a big antlers on him. And then the method stage where you're going through everything and just, and then you become a sportsman and a sportswoman stage where you've done it.
Yeah.
Like my dad goes out and he sits in that deer stand and he just watches deer walk by because he doesn't want to frickin' clean a deer unless it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's a trophy buck. Yeah, he's going to shoot it. It's
That's
a nice,
so gold, man. God, I love watching that, man. That's it. What's the guy's name? Why do I always forget his name?
hunter?
Huh?
A hunter?
Yes, a hunter does it's on Netflix now. Joe Rogan's buddy. Damn it, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I don't watch
Meat Eater.
Netflix. Meat Eater?
Meat Eater. That's
Okay.
that's the one. I can't. Steve Ranella. That's his name. Steve Ranella.
Okay.
That
okay.
dude talks about when he hunts. Have you ever watched that show?
I know.
Dude, you have to watch that show. It is such a great show. He's like the Zen hunter. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's all about the experience and if you get skunked, he's like, you learn that much more about what you're doing because he stalks them. You know what I mean? He really goes after it, and I just love that show.
Some of the best part of deer hunting is just sitting there.
Yeah.
Just total silence and serenity. It's just beautiful. Last year I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I hear something on the corner of my stand. It's and I'm like, what the? Like, what's going on? It's right on that corner of the stand. All of a sudden, whoop, little chickadee right there, and I'm like, he's 2 feet from my face. He looks at me and jumps on the bill of my hat. Across the bill of my hat. flies away. I'm just
wow. Yeah.
that's happened to me twice now. It's
Really?
Like you're just sitting there, sitting still, and just watching everything, and all of a sudden you see a mouse go running across the floor of the woods. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like.
That's funny because you're kind of a bird guy too, aren't you? Don't you have birds?
I had 2 birds back in the day. Yeah.
I was looking through the pictures to find one to make the flyer. I have to say,
okay.
dude, I had the best time making that flyer because I was like, what am I? You know, I was just gonna put Craig Rosen's beard on there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm like, I gotta find. You always make good pictures. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're making
I'm always
faces and whatever. You
trying
know,
to post
so I'm
interesting
going through
stuff.
some stuff, and I'm like, all right, I got the one. You're just kind of like looking at it, you know, big beard. The beard was
Little
grown
stink
in
bag
good.
on.
Yep. So I was like, all right, and that's that. I saw you with the birds. That's why I said that.
Nice. Yeah.
What's up, Shanka? Nice to see you. Hope you got my messages earlier. Crystal had called me up yesterday asking me about some soundboards and keyboards and stuff like that, and I actually looked a couple up and sent it to her. So very cool to do that. Craig, have you ever had the opportunity to hunt a bear or moose?
No, I haven't. I've had the situation where I think I was probably 15, 16 and walking into the woods. We get to my dad's deer stand and stop. He climbs his deer stand, and we're looking at his deer stand. There's bear claws just ripping up the 4x4 post. Took off a couple of braces off of it. Them bear tracks go straight off towards my stand.
Ooh.
And it's like, I mean, I should have known he's pretty much long gone. And as soon as he heard us, he would be long gone.
Yeah.
But I'm young. It's pretty much dark out. My dad's up in his stand like, okay, good luck. And so I walk away from my dad, and off comes the safety, and I'm ready. Like, there's freaking bear out here? Like, no way. It's like, but I've watched some amazing bear hunts. Tim Wells does a lot of stuff on YouTube. He's set up bait piles where he is from here to your door in the studio here. I mean, 8 feet from black bear, standing there with a spear in his hand.
Whoa.
I mean, not a firearm, not a bow, a fucking spear.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude's a real hunter. He is. And he's sitting there, and these bear are looking at him. You know, it's like I'm eating the donuts he brought out there for him this morning. You know, it's like. Or moose too. That would be good. There is moose in northern Minnesota or all over Canada. But one of my big goals is I want to hunt elk.
Yeah.
They are the most delicious meat I've ever eaten.
Yeah.
Is elk.
I've had some elk before. Very, very good stuff. A buddy of mine that I worked with brought some back to the shop and cooked it up for everybody, and was fantastic, man.
A guy I work with, he'd go out every year. I think he went down to New Mexico last. And wife and kids wouldn't eat it. He tried to disguise it in chili. Like, no, it's elk, isn't it, Dad? I'm not eating that.
Wow.
Just wouldn't eat it. So he asked me, he's like, you want some elk meat? I'm like, yes. So the next day, I'm like, you mentioned you got elk meat then or what? He's like, oh, yeah, let me grab a bag. And he comes out, fills a grocery bag with like 12 pounds of elk burger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no way, this is awesome. He's like, I'll grab another bag. He gave me like 30 pounds of elk burger. It's like, so.
And that's not much when it comes to elk. Those are big beasts.
They can be 1,200 pounds, you know, field dress them, and you're still getting a lot of meat out of that thing. And just beautiful, delicious, lean red meat, renewable substance. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
And I shared so much that we went up to a buddy's bachelor party up on Mille Lacs, and I've been like, I'm bringing elk burgers. There'll be a grill up there. We'll grill up a ton of burgers, you know. And threw them all on the burger or on the grill. Went to go flip one too soon, and it broke apart. And I grabbed that thing. And they all looked at me like, dude, the burger hadn't even been flipped, so the bottom wasn't even done because it was flipped too soon. They're like, no way, you can't do that. I'm like, try it. Like, nope. I'm like, dude, try it. I grabbed another chunk of that burger and eat it. So good, you know. Red meat, just beautiful. And all of a sudden, someone else tries it. Before you know it, we ate all them burgers without even flipping them. I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
It's like there's videos of me on Facebook eating off raw deer carcasses. I've done it twice now, and it's a lot better than you think it would be.
Now, do you have to worry about any kind of contamination? Do you have to worry about any of them having any kind of diseases? I know that I've watched some of the Alone shows where they're out there and they shoot some animals, and they open them up and they have weird textures on the inside. Like,
it's definitely something to be cautious about and to be mindful of. You know, you should know stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people don't know. I think I mentioned to you earlier, like skunks, porcupines, possums, white-tailed deer. There's many North American mammals that you can eat without cooking them and without any fear of them. I mean, even like there's lots of talk of chronic wasting disease in deer right now, and it's like that's not something, unless you were to eat their brain raw, I think, that you would get it possibly. So it's like it'll transfer from deer to deer or deer to cattle, maybe not even cattle, but deer to moose, I think, too. So it's like, even something as serious as that is, I don't think you can get that.
Right.
So it's like, but then you should educate yourself, because I got Lyme disease pretty bad years ago.
Really?
So as kind of a party gag, I'd eat a wood tick.
Yeah.
No big deal. Wash it down with a slug of beer. Come to find out, you can get Lyme disease again. It can flare up again. And it was like, I had it pretty serious. I had a neurological heart block and a pacemaker for a couple days. So it's like, it's pretty legit. So it's like, I'm not going to do that anymore. Once I learned about the possible, side effects of it, it's like, I'm not going to do that anymore.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, that's freaky, dude.
Right.
I don't want to see any ticks. Was it like a grape? Did it look like a big...
No, I would not. No, not that. Just a regular wood tick, I ain't snapping them in my teeth or nothing like that. No.
Hey, watch this. It's a gusher.
Oh, look at this big one. Fell off the dog. No.
That's awesome. Crystal's actually a hunter. Her pops has got her out in the woods, and her son is actually a hunter as well.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool. And fishing, hunting, all that stuff. And it's so cool to see a cat that's 14, 15 years old and is into that stuff, man.
Sure.
Because he's into the video games and everything too. But to see young people getting into this type of stuff and learning how to they can sustain themselves. They can go out and hunt and do their thing, man.
I love to see more women into it too. They made it legal now to wear pink.
Yeah.
Hot pink is the same as blaze orange now. You can do it. It's
nice.
Get the ladies out there too. It's another tag to fill the freezer with, and it's another sportsman in the field to carry on that tradition and just keep it alive. And my mom started hunting 4 or 5 years before she passed away. She loved it.
Yeah.
She shot a couple deer. It was great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I'm jealous. I've never done it before and
Yeah.
got myself into a little predicament. So I can't necessarily go out and.
I know my wife would. She's a freaking crack shot. She can shoot. I know she can, but she'd never kill nothing.
Yeah.
She doesn't even like that I kill deer, but she loves the taste of them.
Yeah.
It's like, so at our house, you don't shoot nothing in the yard.
Yeah.
It's like made a little promise to her. I'm not hunting here. I mean, I could hunt in my backyard. There's cornfield behind me. I'd get permission to access it if I needed to, but I could sit in a tree in my backyard and shoot a deer. We've had 22 deer in our backyard at once.
Wow.
Throwing corn out there, middle of winter, and they'll just tons of them out there. Could easily drop one of them.
What's the biggest deer that you've got?
Unfortunately, I have yet to see personally antlers in my backyard.
Really?
Does and fawns, little ones, all over the place. Not a single antler have I seen with my eyes. My coworker Dan let me borrow his trail cam. He's got a cell phone trail cam, so it just sends him pictures right to his phone.
Yeah.
So after I shot my deer, I put the rib cage and backbone, the carcass, what was left, out in the woods, and I wanted to see it because I've seen eagles out there chewing on it. So I got his trail cam, set it up out there, and in the edge of the cornfield, there's one deer out there with decent antlers. It's like, after 5 years, I finally, through a camera, I've seen bucks.
Yeah.
It's like I've seen one half-mile away coming home, like out in the pond, like that is a big deer out there. That's sweet. I know there's big deer around there. I got a buddy, Chuck, that hunts probably 2 miles from my house. He's got big deer on camera all the time. So it's like, I know there's huge deer around my house, but them big ones are smart.
Yeah.
They sit all day.
Well, I mean, they're still there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I just saw a video of a guy putting up a trail cam for, it just popped up on my YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, I just see this big mound, and it has peanuts sticking on it. It's peanut butter, a mound of peanut butter with peanuts, like shelled peanuts sticking out of it.
Yeah.
And he just wanted to see what they would do. Right. And he put it in the middle of the woods, put trail cams in 2 different, areas.
Yeah.
And the deer, would come up, but wouldn't go any. They'd just see the cameras going off, and they would just be and barely move. They're like, they smell it. They could smell it, but they wouldn't come any closer. Raccoons went up there and just pulled the peanuts off. Didn't mess with the peanut butter at all.
Wow.
So he thought it was really weird. So he did. He scooped out the middle of it and filled it with jelly.
Oh,
and so then he did that.
Yeah.
And then a deer came up and actually ate the jelly and not the peanut butter, which I thought was really weird. And there was a bear. There were 2 bears that came up and did it too.
Think they would come in there and just roll around it and eat
They
it
didn't.
all?
They didn't. They they take a big bite of peanut butter and get stuck to the roof of their mouth, and then they'd be done.
Walk
They just
away.
get the hell out of there. forgive me for changing the subject, but Mr. Craig, have you, since you like metal music, have you ever thought of picking up an instrument or being a vocalist, or ever thought of starting your own band?
I don't have that kind of talent. I mean, I played Guitar Hero a little bit and was like, yeah, I don't know how to do this with 5 buttons.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine 5 strings, all the frets, all that.
Yeah.
I played with the guitar a little bit. I mean, I'll sing in the shower every once in a while. I don't know. I just can't do it. I don't have that kind of talent, I guess.
Yeah.
It would be fun, but I guess it's just not something I've really gotten into.
Right. So let's shift gears a little bit. So now you said when you were field dressing that deer, your dad said, "Ooh, that smell." So
Yeah.
he's got to like good old school rock and roll stuff,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
So my go-to question of all the guests really is, what was going on musically in your household as a kid?
As long as I can remember, every single morning I woke up with the KQRS morning show on.
Right.
So it was just classic rock all the time. You know, I remember I just heard the song today, Steve Earle's Copperhead Road.
Yeah.
I remember driving in my dad's, I think it was an '89 Ford, and we progressively got faster and faster with that song as he's just beating on the freaking steering wheel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I grew up with a good taste of music, I think, you know, a wide variety of it. My mom loved Bruce Springsteen and stuff like that. So it's like classic rock, big time. And then I grew up, I remember, I think my brother brought home like the first Korn album.
Okay.
And we're like, this is fucking heavy.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. And then one Christmas, we both got new stereos for our room, and he got the 101 proof Pantera album.
Oh yeah.
And I got a dartboard. So we literally listened to that album as we played darts as a family. It was like the weirdest thing ever because my parents didn't like Pantera, but they're like, whatever, we're going to let them enjoy their gift the first night, you know? So we listened to that whole Pantera album as we played cricket on the dartboard.
Yeah.
It was fun.
That's awesome.
You know?
Oh yeah, dude. Some good metal to throw some darts to.
Yeah. And then a few years back, a good buddy of mine said, "Oh, you like Pantera? You got to listen to Down."
You never heard them?
No, never heard of Down. Like, Phil played in another band?
Yeah.
What? And then I started hearing this shit, and it's like the Null album. I could listen to that over and over and over on repeat and not get sick of it.
Yeah.
That is probably hands down my favorite album ever.
Yeah.
It's great.
I had heard of the band, but I'd never heard anything until, I want to say, 2000 something. I mean, it was a good long while from when they released it to the time that I had actually heard it. And then I was like, how in the hell did I never hear this album? You know what I mean? And it was Stone the Crow was the first one, you know. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, this is really catchy. This is really cool. And then I started learning who else was in the band besides Phil, and I was like, oh my God.
Kirk Weinstein and Pepper Keenan and frickin' Jimmy Bauer on drums. I mean, it's like, now I follow Jimmy on Instagram. We post all kinds of pictures of food and shit. Yeah. It's like they're out touring again, and it's freaking awesome. Yeah,
I got to meet Phil and Dime.
Really?
On Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah.
They opened up. God, who the hell was it? I can't remember was it Pantera? I have the ticket stub, but I can't remember the lineup. But they had come on Cowboys from Hell, the first go round on it, you know, and there was 3 people pitting. There 3 big guys, and I was standing there. They ended the song. I put my fist up, you know, and I walked past their dressing room. When you walk down the one, okay, so here's 1st and 7th. When you walk down First Avenue right there, you know, Target Center's right here. The Irish Bar's right across the street. On that wall, there's a door right past the main doors. Their dressing room, that used to be Conrad's door, the guy who ran the stage at First Avenue for fucking ever. Okay, their dressing room was in Connie's in his room. So I walked by there, and Phil goes, "Hey man, I saw you getting down out there, brother." And I went in there, and Dimebag Darrell wrote, you know, and you know that's right, brother, and I got Dimebag Darrell, and then I have.
You told me that, out of the Rolodex or something like that.
Pulled a piece of paper right out of Phil's Rolodex and wrote it down. I found that I want to say a couple years ago, and it just like you know, you flash back. So cool. And then when Superjoint Ritual came, it was Jimmy, Phil, and Hank the Third. We got in my buddy's car and drove them over to Christensen's Big V on University for Electric
shit.
Wizard, dude. If you ever heard of them guys, they're like a stoner doom metal band. They're killer. Electric Wizard's really good.
Wow.
So, but I never had ever heard of them. You know what I
Right.
mean? They're like this big doom band.
Right.
And Phil was like, I heard they're in town. Will you guys give us a ride over there? We jumped in the car. I'm outside hanging out with Hank the Third. You know, he's wearing his grandpa's boots, dude. It was
Dude,
the coolest thing ever.
that is awesome.
Yep, Phil shoved me off of him, you know. I put my arm around him, I half cocked, you know. Hey man, oh I met you. You know, he's like, get off me, man, you know, that type of thing. It's still cool though.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. I kind of became a Phil Anselmo fanboy and just followed a lot of his stuff. And it's like, me and a buddy went and drove out to South Dakota for the Slayer farewell tour.
Yeah.
We seen Phil and
The Illegals, right?
And I was in love. It was awesome. I was so glad to just know that I got to see him, you know. Freaking Diamond Vinny are gone and never see Pantera again.
Yep.
It's like, wish I would have, you know, gone to X Fest or something like that back in the day and seen that. And it's like, as much as I love him lately, I really wish I would have been to a show like that. And now just to get to see them, that was freaking awesome. And it was like, and I swear he looked up at us and pointed because he's like, I want to see all you motherfuckers back there standing up and jumping. He's like, you guys are fucking doing it right there. And he pointed up to us. And it was like, he's fucking talking to me.
He's looking right at
Because
me,
I'm up
man.
there just screaming as loud as I can to it. It's like, I couldn't talk for days after that show. It was awesome. Freaking awesome.
Yeah, I've got to see some pretty cool stuff. I ran into so Mikey Doling from Snot, who's been on my show before, who played in Soulfly for a little while. We did a show with Soulfly. My band played upstairs in the Ascot room at the Quest, and Soulfly played downstairs. Mikey Doling actually made it up. We became friends. We sent our demo stuff to him. He passed it around a bunch of different record labels. But when Soulfly came to town with Morbid Angel and Pantera at the Target Center, he called me up, and we had set a show up at the Quest that night too. So after the show, go over to the Quest. You get in for extra cheap if you have a Pantera ticket, you know.
Oh yeah.
So Mikey called me up. He said, "Hey man, I want to come over and sound check with you guys and like hang out with you, you know." So he's hanging out, doing his thing, and he's like, I got you some free tickets and backstage passes if you want to come over there, you know. So I'm like, I'm gonna see Morbid Angel, you know. I'm gonna see Soulfly, my buddy Mikey play with, you know, Max Cavalera, for God's sakes, you know what I mean, and then Pantera on Southern Trendkill, you know. So I'm on the side Rex is on, right? I'm right on stage with them, watching them play, watching them sound check, you know, and watching the drummer. Why can't I think of his name? Diamond. What? Vinny. Okay. Jesus Christ! I just had a brain fart. Okay. So Vinny's drum tech behind the drum set while he's playing. You know what I mean? He's pounding it away, but he's literally holding onto the speakers, going ape shit, flying all over the place. You know what I mean? Wow! I just had a complete brain fart on that.
Right.
But yeah, super cool time. But then, you know, I had a chick with me on the side of the stage, and Rex came over and he's like, "What are you doing there on the side of my stage? She can stay. You got to back up." And I just was like, I looked at Mikey and he's like, "Come back here." You know what I mean? So we drank beer and I was backed up, but it was one of those things. But when Down came to town, the next time Rex was with him.
Yeah.
And we were at the Quest and I was doing security for that. And he walked up and I was kind of a dick back to him, you know? And so the next time they came to town, he saw me in the alleyway and I was actually there to enjoy the show.
Yeah.
And we had some drinks and shot the shit. So it was really cool to kind of see that go full circle.
Right?
Yeah, real cool.
Nice. That is sweet.
Yeah, Clutch, is that a band that you've experienced at all?
I regret to admit that I actually left the Clutch show before they started.
Really?
It's Zach Sabbath show.
Yeah.
I wanted to see it. Frickin' dude's amazing. He's a beast. He just shreds that guitar.
Yeah.
And it was a weeknight, and it was like, I got to work in the morning. I really don't know Clutch.
Yeah.
I'm going. My buddies are like, what the fuck? I got ripped on Facebook about it. Like, you left the fucking Clutch show? Why?
Yeah.
Come down to it. I got a little iPod I've had for a while. It's got a bunch of Clutch music on it. I started playing it, and I'm like, I know this song. That song comes up. I know this song. These guys fucking rule. Why did I leave that show?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just dumb.
Yeah.
Clutch is awesome.
Yeah, they're a good band. Good for Crystal to put that one up there. I've seen them guys a whole bunch. They're fantastic live too. That drummer is Unbelievable, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't he play with the? No, what's that? Oh, that was the dude that played with Zach Sabbath. He plays with the Circle Jerks. Joey something.
I don't know. I was at that show though.
Okay, yeah.
At First Avenue is what you're talking about? Yeah, I
First
was
Ave.
there. Yeah.
And then I also seen another Zach Sabbath show at the Varsity after that.
Yeah.
As we were right on stage, some dude comes up with earplugs. I'm like, fuck no, I want to hear this. Walked out of there like,
I don't want to hear afterwards.
like, wow, it's never been this bad, dude. The Varsity Theater was so loud. Yeah.
That was the
Killer
first place
show.
I ever played a show.
Yep. What's his name? Jay Deezus, his bass player.
Yeah.
Looked right at me and threw me one of his picks, and I'm just like, I mean, he grabbed it right off of Zach's freaking mic and just like, I still got it at home. Like,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Hell yeah. That's fantastic. Well, let me do a solid to these cats. If you joined us in the very beginning, we played a song called "Fight the Good Fight" by the band Semtex. Semtex just released their album "The War Within." Do me a favor, check it out. It is let me see here, 9 songs of pure brutality. If you like thrash metal, the drummer and guitar player Mike and Dennis Kern, fantastic cats. I've known them forever. They just released this album and they're fantastic. I want to play a couple more tunes by these guys. Let me see here. I've got a couple other ones lined up. The second one we're going to play here is called Enough. So we're going to take a listen to this tune, Enough. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back, okay? look at Josh Kellerman with the awesome scream on the end of that one. Mr. Kellerman, I have to say, fantastic job. That was some Semtex. The song is called Enough off of their new album, The War Within. Check it out. Fantastic, fantastic album. I'm glad I got to listen to that today, driving around. And I had posted Fight the Good Fight, the way he sang it on YouTube or on Facebook today, and someone actually made a comment saying something about the Bible, and I was like, and he said, I think it's kind of ironic that you would post something like that, assuming that I was talking about the Bible, and I was like, how so, And he goes, well, you're not a very religious guy, And then I Googled it and like took the passage and put it on. Okay, I stand corrected. I was like, no, it's from a song, just to mess with him a little bit, but. Yeah, fantastic. Oh, I'm sorry, we missed the Kill Switch thing, and actually Craig said he really digs Kill Switch.
I do. That was one of the other things I got into in the other metal music too. Is like one of the ones I really like too, like Mudvayne, Kill Switch.
Yeah.
Static X I really liked a lot too. I remember having a couple of their albums that I just listened to until they were dang near worn out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kill Switch, they are freaking awesome.
Yeah, those are killer bands. I can't believe that Mudvayne's actually back together and touring, dude.
I heard that they're actually touring now.
Yeah.
I heard they were doing something together again, but I didn't know they were touring.
Yeah, I seen some report about them adding another guitar player to it too. And if you know that sound, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When the guitar drops out, their bass player is such a phenomenal bass player. But you adding another heavy guitar tone behind him would just make that stuff so much thicker,
I suppose, yeah.
So we wanted to kind of go over some stuff on this too. Now you kind of pointed to some stuff about poaching and things like that.
Yeah, there's I don't really want to go through the whole dang manual, be here all night, but one of the bigger things that we do push across is the TIP program is Turn In Poachers. And it's a number, it's 1-800-652-9093, and it's as simple as if you see something going wrong in the woods, someone's doing something wrong illegally, they're taking from you, not just the wildlife and that creature. They're taking from you, and eventually that's going to come down to the point where you're going to lose hunting rights because people are doing this shit.
Right.
There's a picture in here of 13 awesome whitetail bucks that would have been an amazing buck of a lifetime for anyone else, but one guy illegally poached them all out of the Sherburne County Wildlife Refuge, I think. And by the time they found him, I'm sure he took a hefty fine and lost his hunting rights, Unfortunately,
man,
dealt with some of that stuff personally. We're pretty blessed to have the privilege to hunt an 80-acre chunk of property north central Minnesota, but there's 2 other people that hunt that property.
Yeah.
And I'd really like to drop some names right now because I truly fucking hate this guy, and he's done some fucked up shit in the woods that we've called the DNR on him for. Yeah. Somehow he gets away with this shit. Yeah. And I don't know. Might be some people watching that know me and know of him, and it's like I'm gonna be above that a little bit. But we've contemplated not hunting there anymore, and it's a beautiful place to hunt.
That sucks.
It's an amazing privilege.
When somebody ruins it for, that's the whole thing. We learned this as kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, the retaliation. Someone throws something at you, and the teacher never turns around until you grab something and throw it back, and then you're going to the, But that is such a crazy thing to think about. With wildlife and how the numbers are so goofy sometimes. You know what I mean? You hear stories about things being up or down, and the DNR having to regulate all of that stuff and kind of keep tabs on things, and it can really throw some shit too. The Amish do it too. Crystal said.
The Amish do it too. What, poaching deer?
That's probably what it is.
They're above the law, Amish, aren't they? They don't respect any government. They're hunting, or I bet they're not doing it wastefully at all.
Probably,
they're hunting to eat, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
If it came down to it where there's food shortages and toilet paper shortages, I would have zero problems shooting a deer out of my backyard and feeding my family for months with it.
Right.
So it's like for the Amish to do that, yes, that's their God-given right to feed themselves off of nature.
Right.
And the government shouldn't really be able to tell you can't do that.
Right. Although I'm Native American, but I still find the whole spearfishing thing and like the what they do in Mille Lacs. I've seen them pull walleyes out of pulling them out of Mille Lacs and actually laying them out on the ground and leaving them there. I've seen people
Yeah, it's
like wastefully
ridiculous.
do that. You know what I mean? Like netting and doing things like that.
Yep, and some people are out there just to do some sport fishing or to feed their family.
Yeah.
I remember growing up when I was in kindergarten, I ice fished every other day because we had school every other day in kindergarten.
Yeah.
I remember ice fishing every other day with my dad. We'd bring home 30 sunnies and crappies, and my mom would come home from work, fillet them sons of bitches up, and that was dinner.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, so for someone to go out there and do that stuff wrong and illegally, that's why I think it's very important to me. It's like turn in poachers, simple as that. Call the sheriff.
if you hear any or see anything like that or hear about things like that, how do you get it? You get in touch with the DNR? You get in touch with the police? How does that work?
Simply call the local sheriff, call the police department, and they're going to get you in touch with anybody you need to. You know, get a conservation officer out there.
Sure.
And if they're doing something wrong, it's going to be obvious. And them conservation officers are fucking smart.
Right.
They are trained for that situation, and they will find.
Sure.
And they'll see it obviously what is being done wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it's same with like registering your deer tags. Like you say, the DNR take numbers on everything to understand the number of deer to know how much of a surplus of animal we have to hunt.
Yeah.
And then we go out and hunt them, and people eat
Now,
them.
do they tag every deer? Do they tag how many deers do they actually put tags on? Do they tag them?
Every deer hunted with a license. Yes, you get a license just like this in the picture, and
Gotcha.
you literally put that tag on the ear, the antler, or the leg,
Got ya.
and it needs to be registered with the state within 24 hours, and that's so they can control the season for next year. And
Right.
it's population control.
So you just basically go to the website and put your tag numbers in there?
Yep. There's different places all over the place where you can buy your license, you can register your deer.
Yeah.
And you can go right online and register your deer, or you can call a number that's on the license and register your deer. It's very simple to do.
Yeah.
It's like, with this manual, we go through a ton of stuff, a matter of 21 hours of class or something like
Sure.
that. Goes into identifying game and tracking or tracks and all kinds of stuff, I guess. But
So you guys teach them now. If you see tracks on the ground, you guys actually show them in your manual what they are. That's
Yep.
that's rad.
Yep. And then, like I said, at the Minnesota Sportsman's Club, they're out of town. It's out in the woods. It's like there's deer tracks going through there everywhere. There's turkey tracks. There's stuff like that. Kids be picking up turkey feathers and stuff. And
Right.
it's like same thing when we're out there. It's like we have an amazing opportunity to do our field trip here, so we're not going to leave any trash out there. You see any trash, you're going to pick it up and you're going to bring it out of there.
Right.
You're going to leave them woods better than you came into them with.
Right.
Another little shout out I'd like to say too is, like I said, we normally do it at the church.
Yeah.
And at one of the churches in town in Princeton, and we paid them X amount of dollars for a year. My dad went back in there to ask them, okay, we want to do this again, and they brought up COVID regulations and this and that. They had to bring it up to the church board, and he's like, okay. So he starts looking around different places in town. The little civic center wanted so much a night, and it was pretty extravagant compared to what the church wanted.
Right.
And my dad's sitting at the pizza pub in Princeton, and he's like, you know what? They got a banquet room downstairs, and he's seen the owner go across the street to the mailbox and come back, and he's like, I'm going to go ask them. And they're like, oh, no, we would love it if you did that here. You guys can take any day you want. You just let us know.
That's
like, well,
rad.
How much you want? How much do you want? We usually pay this much. No, please come here and do it. So you're ever in Princeton, you want some good pizza, the Pizza Pub does amazing things for their kids in the community and firearm safety.
Oh yeah, and always eating at small businesses like that always helps the local folks in keeping good things. And I know with this whole COVID bullshit that's been going on, and not that it doesn't exist or that it's bullshit. I'm just saying that with everything shut down, a lot of small businesses suffered from a lot of this stuff, and it's super unfortunate. And if you can support local businesses and buy local and eat local, and please do, because it's really important. Let me see here. We got another question, Mr. Craig. I completely understand about hating. What did you say?
About hating a person.
About hating a person, and now one person can ruin it. The Pizza Pub. Hey, Fed Sex 8. Who are you? That's what Craig wants to know.
Yeah, I don't know your
He doesn't know you by
apparently.
your call name there. What did I miss here? One person confacted, not sacrifice the integrity. Sir, I salute you. That's what he's saying.
Thank you. I've came to tears. I had a good friend of ours. Well, actually, whatever. Not to get too specific.
Yeah.
This gal come up and she knows the guys that hunt there. And she told me that they've literally tried to sabotage our deer stands and shit like that to wreck our season.
Wow.
And it's like, I'm tempted to just fucking break this guy's nose, you know?
Yeah.
Go out there and chainsaw his fucking deer stand down when he's in it.
Right.
But it's like, I gotta be the bigger person here, you know, and just do it right. We're gonna catch him doing the wrong thing, and he's gonna fucking lose everything.
Yeah. What's so crazy about it is that you guys are walking around with guns, and you know what I mean? Like, clearly you know, you don't want to.
That's not what I'm gonna go for. I'm not just gonna go out there and shoot this guy, but I'm going to go out there and catch him doing the wrong fucking thing. They're going to confiscate his rifle. They're going to confiscate his truck. They're going to confiscate that deer, and they're going to lose their fucking hunting privileges for years. Yeah. And that's what they deserve, because they are just unethical pieces of shit.
Yeah. There's a lot of people do that shit too, man. That's what's
Oh, it's fucking Schwiffle. Hell yeah. It's over at his house. He's got a nice freaking shooting range. He's got all kinds of plinky targets and metal stuff out there.
Nice.
He's right on the pond behind him. He's got a big 2-foot plate out there on the other side of the pond. It's 180 yards.
Wow.
You can raise about 2.5 feet up and pull the trigger on a 22 and go plink. Ding,
nice.
plink,
that's awesome.
Ding. It's like, the freaking 22 is so much fun. Got to get back over there. He's also got that freaking tiger striped Desert Eagle 50 cal.
Woo.
You pull the trigger and you feel it in your freaking toenails when that thing goes
man.
off. So
I've
awesome.
I've been at Bill's when a guy shot one of those, and you know, your shells as you're they're bouncing all over the place. And this guy is 2 rows over from me, boom, and you just see the shells go. You know what I mean? That's a
Mr. Tyler Kudrowski, or not Kudrowski. Oh, it is. No, Kowalski. Okay, I know 2 of them. Kowalski. My real good buddy Dan Halverson. Love the guy. I've known him since I was 17 or something like that.
Yeah.
This is pretty much his stepson. He's known him since he was 9. He's 19 now, something like that.
That's awesome.
I remember when Tyler was 9, I think, and we put the shotgun in his hand, 12-gauge shotgun, in my dad's backyard, and his mom's back there like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" It's like, "It's okay." Dan's standing there right next to him. It was not an unsafe situation. Ear protection, and we weren't going to let nothing go wrong.
Yeah.
He pulled the trigger on that thing. He just about fell over, just about came to tears, and it was like, "Oh, I don't want to do that again."
Yeah.
And that kid can frickin' smoke clay pigeons now like nothing, and it's awesome to see. Just
very cool.
Watching kids growing up with it. Yeah.
That's badass. Thank you very much for joining us too. Everybody who's joined us in the chat and is watching the show, appreciate it very much. Don't forget, you can subscribe if you want to listen to more shenanigans of the show. We've got a bunch of different heavy metal bands that come on here, artists and tattoo artists, and it's a fun show. It's a good time. I really appreciate this stuff, and I've always been a fan of firearms. My family's hunted. I was telling Craig before we started here, I've always wanted to deer hunt. I've never had a chance to, but I've had a chance to pheasant hunt and duck hunt, and I had a blast doing it. The only bad thing is I almost shot my buddy's dog when we were pheasant hunting, because he was a young dog, you know, and jumped up as I went to go blast one as it took off, you know what I mean? And I just missed him, and I felt so horrible, man. I don't think we continued throughout the day, but even when something would pop up, I kind of held a hold. I was really nervous about that.
You don't want to make that kind of mistake, and that's knowing your target and beyond. You know, that's one of the main firearm safety rules, and it's like accidents can happen. I mean,
sure.
Dick Cheney shoot someone bird hunting like that?
Yeah, I think he did.
He's probably an avid sportsman, but still shit can happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I actually shot myself. I mean, not shot myself, ricochet.
Right.
It was Mike Voles. You know him?
Yep.
Him and his daughter, and I think it was his brother-in-law or something. They come over and shoot some guns. They all live in the cities. But come up anytime, let's go, you know? So they come up, we set up the table in the backyard, and I had a steel plate back there, which I'd shot thousands of rounds at. Most lead projectiles hit it, splatter, no big deal. I have it tipped at a proper angle, so it's not going to ricochet. Not long before that, another coworker's over there with his giant AR-10 chambered in .308, and he's putting holes in that thing and putting big old pockmarks in it.
Right.
So we get up there, get all set up. Like, all right, I'll start making some noise. You guys got your ears on? There's 4 of us standing there. His 11-year-old daughter, I think she was at the time, and pull out my gun. Plink, plink, plink. I mean, I was shocked. I felt something hit me.
Wow.
I dropped the magazine, emptied the chamber, set my gun down, looked at you, like the other guys, like, "Are you okay?" And they're looking at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
I pulled my pants down a little bit, right in the crotch line of my pants. I'm bleeding. just barely hit with a little fragment of lead and then skinned the outside of my leg.
Whoa.
It's like, all right, ceasefire, guns down. I went out there, picked up that plate, and hung it on my garage wall.
Wow.
That one shot me. So it's like everything comes down to it. I mean, I grew up in a hunt, you know, and my dad shot league trap as trophies for it. I mean, he screamed at me when I picked up an open, empty gun, and it ended up pointing someone, flagged someone kind of thing.
Right.
And he put that thing right to the table and said, don't you ever do that. You know, it's like I've always been safe when it comes to firearms, and something like simple as that can happen. And I'm looking over at his daughter like, you guys are okay, right?
Yeah.
So that's why everything in this manual is so important, you know. It's knowing your firearm, the type of action and all that. The simple as I've had another guy come over too. It was a coworker I worked with a long time ago, Andre. Him and his cousin come over, and then they asked if his cousin's coworker could come over. And I said, you know, I don't know him. If you trust him with a firearm and you think he's going to be an all right dude and be safe, yes, he can come over.
Yeah.
Well, dude comes over, frickin' blazes up a doobie. I'm like, hey, guns and drugs don't mix.
Yeah.
I'd rather you not. He's like, it's no big deal. I do it all the time. Like, so I'm keeping my eye on this cat.
Yeah.
And he pulls out this range bag, and it's fucking to the nines. You know, it looks good. Looks like this kid knows what he's doing. I'm like, all right, seems pretty legit. We're shooting for a while, and he shoots a couple rounds, and it didn't feed, and he racked the action and shot again. And then he realized that he had 9s in his 40.
Oh, Jesus.
So he put the wrong ammunition in the wrong gun. Right. Which can be catastrophic.
Yeah.
In this case, it was a smaller round, which picked up and chambered, and the only thing that's going to hold it is the extractor. Yeah. Which is made to pull it out of the chamber. That was the only thing holding it in the chamber for the firing pin, not to push it away from it. Wow. It hit it and went off a few times. I still got the casing at my house. I picked it up after he did that, and it's, you know, regular little pistol cartridge, but it's fucking ballooned out to the size of the chamber of the 40. It's like, you just fucking set that thing down now and check every fucking bullet and every magazine you got now before you shoot again. Wow. And then once he left, I texted my buddy, said, don't bring that guy back. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm sorry. I'm totally sorry. I'm like, I knew it shouldn't have happened, you know, or not like I knew it shouldn't have happened, but dude blazed up a doobie before he started shooting. It's like, just no. Afterwards, sure, I probably would have joined him. Right. Before, no. They just don't mix, you know. It's not a good idea. There's no room for error when it comes to firearms.
Now, I had a question with for you on that whole thing. Now, with conceal and carry. Now, like I said, I was going to have my buddy Kevin come on, who does teach conceal and carry. But I have questions like when it comes to alcohol and drugs in like certain situations. What is the no-nos of any of that conceal and carry stuff?
Same as driving, .08.
Yeah.
You can't be over .08 with a firearm on you.
Okay.
I think Wisconsin, you can't even sit at the bar with a firearm on you, right? Whether you're sober or not. Yeah. Same with drugs and alcohol. It's just they don't mix. It's against the law, big time. Right. I mean, there was FPS Russia. He was a YouTuber. Yeah. Did some crazy YouTube videos. These Russian guy always sounded like.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Mini guns, big full auto guns. Turns out his name's Steve. He's from Georgia. He's not fucking Russian at all. I was pretty amazed when I found that out. Yeah. But he had a tax stamp for a silencer. Yeah. As soon as you have a tax stamp, the ATF can invite themselves into your home for a search of your home at any time. So they come and show up, and apparently he liked to smoke the pot. So he had a half pound of pot or something, and that got to be a huge felony. Wow. He doesn't have the right to own any firearms anymore. So it's like,
that's insane.
You got to weigh your options. You want to do drugs and do freaking drinking all the time? You better not have a gun on you. Right. You know, it's like, should be common sense for most people. Right. So, you know, nothing we go over with the 12-year-olds in class, but that's down the road. Somebody better teach them that, you know? Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
man, I can't even, dude, I've seen some crazy stuff with people, you know, in the city messing with guns. Oh yeah. Messing in the guns, man. You know, when I was probably in my 20s, I went to a club with a friend of mine who was a gangbanger at the time, you know. Yeah. And we walked in and everything was cool. We were all hanging out, had a few drinks, and then some guy walked up to him and said that he'd roughed him up at one point, and he was like, I asked him, I'm like, do you know this dude? Did you rough this dude up? He's like, I'm telling you, man, I don't know this guy. I wasn't here, you know, when this happened or whatever. These guys followed us outside, and he just looked at me and said, pop the trunk. And I go, dude, don't do this here, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I popped that trunk, and before I knew it, it was ping, pong, ping, pang, pang, every which way in the middle of the city, dude. And You know, I'm freaking in this car.
Yeah.
He jumps in the car. We take off. You
Let's
know.
go.
Sad thing is, we come back an hour later, and we're like 4 blocks from where we were at this club,
Yeah.
and there's helicopters flying around looking for
shit.
looking for him. Yeah. Funny thing is I knew the guys, the bouncers at that bar,
Yeah.
and I asked them, you know, like, hey man, what did you guys hear? Well, we seen you guys leave. Then we heard a bunch of gunfire, and then that was it. But I was like, man, I remember that happening and just going, oh yeah, this is fucking Wild West shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Spooky shit. Did you hear about the Lunds and Byerlys in St. Louis Park yesterday? Yesterday they Channel 9 was covering a story that happened the day before. So not yesterday, the day before that, a 73-year-old lady got her purse nabbed from her, and they knocked her down and took her purse, and it was some young African American kids just ripping people off in the Lunds and Byerlys off of 100 in St. Louis Park. Well, yesterday they had Channel 9. The camera guy was driving through the parking lot with his GoPro, just filming doing some B-roll photographs of the cars in the parking lot, and sees a guy with somebody in his back seat smacking him in the head with it looked like either a firearm or a drill, is what the guy said. Wow. But they have him rolling up. One guy sitting in the car, so they got a photo of the getaway driver sitting there in front of the car that the dude's getting beat with, with whatever he was getting hit. There are 2 guys in the it was a Mercedes SUV, and they were smacking this dude in the head, and the camera guy's honking the horn, going, "Hey, get out of there!" Freaking out.
Yeah.
The guy pulled over, and he got big gashes on his head and was bleeding out of his head. But you know what I mean? Right in the middle of broad daylight.
Yeah.
In a Lunds and Byerly parking lot.
Yeah, that's one of the things the instructor for my conceal and carry course said. He's like, if you see something like that, where it's something like the situation you just explained, if I were to drive up to that, I had a pistol on me, I'm gonna just keep fucking driving. Yeah. Because I'm not gonna put myself in harm's way.
Right.
I mean, it's like you can't just be the hero all the time. You're gonna be in the wrong situation. You're gonna be in fucking prison. Yeah. Like, you really need to know what you're doing when it comes down to shit like that. Yep. He's like, same thing if I was in the store, some dude pull out a knife, I'm just going to go. Yeah. And fucking back away. Yeah. I'm not going to just instantly shoot him. That's what people think. Oh, you carry a gun, you're just going to kill people? Yeah. No. It's like, it's crazy how people think, and when different people carry guns like that, it's like, there's people out there that shouldn't be carrying guns,
right. Right.
I talked to the
go ahead.
Princeton, the chief of police in Princeton, and he had mentioned something. He's like, I got a couple of conceal and carry permits where they took their course, and I got to sign off on them. And he's like, I don't really know if I should.
Because he knows them.
Yeah. And I said, don't. But I think there's something like that. I mean, unless they have just reason, they kind of have to.
Wow.
I'm not exactly sure.
So if they know their history, they still have to do it. Yeah. Fucking, I couldn't do that, man. That would be horrible. I got another
buddy that took when I first took my class, he came with and took his class. He turned in his shit with the county, and come to find out he had a aggravated assault or something like 10 years ago. I mean, nothing actually violent. It was an argument or something like that, and someone called the cops. It turned into something like that, So it's like he didn't get his freaking carry permit. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, it's weird. You got to be pretty straight and narrow, I guess. Which you probably should be, So it's like.
All right, so when we talked about this around Thanksgiving time, there was a reason that I wanted to have you and my buddy Kevin on the show, because you guys are both well versed in what you do. Kevin teaches conceal and carry, and you do the gun safety stuff, the firearm safety stuff. Right at that particular time, the Kyle Rittenhouse trial had ended, and the verdict came back. And I know you had posted a few things on and kind of poking at the thing, but coming from knowing that you handle gun safety and firearm safety and teach younger folks this type of stuff, I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about the trial, what you thought about it, what your thoughts were on that particular stuff.
I guess I really didn't follow the whole case. I do my best to not watch the news.
Sure.
So it's like I see stuff that's on Facebook, so I know it's 100% factual right there. So it's like. Joking, obviously. That's why I post funny memes. That's why my account is restricted right now on Facebook, because of The Rock and the LeBron James joke about Kyle. And it's like, I mean, the little bit that I did hear about it, and what I understand about it, he was there trying to protect store property or something like that.
Yeah, he was asked to do that with some friends. It was actually the friend that had. Now, this is the crazy thing about it is that I had heard a lot of things. So when it happened, you know, there was a lot of crazy stuff going on here in the Twin Cities with you know, all the riots and protests here, right? So it had kind of teetered back and forth, you know what I mean? The George Floyd stuff, and then the stuff over there in Kenosha. It was such a hotbed for craziness and racism and all of this other stuff that factored in. I saw a guy breaking down the video and finding the videos of everything, how it all transpired throughout the entire thing before it was ever really made a thing. He did it from start to finish, and I was like, this seems a little off. You know what I mean? Like, why are people not paying attention? Because there was a lot of things that were like put on the news that were false. There were things that were not correct,
misconstrued.
And a lot of people heard that and ran with it, like the firearm being brought across state lines, which it wasn't. It was already in Kenosha with his friend, because his friend had purchased it for him. You know, and they were into that type of stuff. He was looking to go into law enforcement. He's looking to do all of this stuff. He wanted to do, you know, he wanted to be an EMT, all this other stuff. So there was a lot of things when I watched the trial after it was done, because I went back and, you know, found the stuff that I really wanted to hear and really wanted to see, because I knew the gist of it all. You know? I was blown away by it, and I was blown away by the fact that people really I have a lot of friends all the way across the board when it comes to friends that are very, very, and people are going to take this however they're going to take it, but
let them.
I have friends on every aspect of this you know, thing.
Everyone has their opinion, and they're far different.
And it blows me away that people can't see how you know, how this all played out and what all went down. And when it did happen, I had a conversation with a couple people, and I thought to myself, well, this kid showed incredible restraint when you have a firearm that has the capability that the one that he had. You know what I mean? This is an assault rifle that
It's not an assault rifle.
It's not.
It's not an assault rifle.
Go ahead.
It's a semi-automatic rifle. They make them in any color.
Okay.
I mean, I got one right here. It's not an assault rifle.
Okay.
It's an AR-15.
Yep.
It's chambered in 5.56 or 223.
Yep.
They're very weak.
Yeah.
I shot 2 deer with this last year.
Yeah.
I'll never deer hunt with it again.
Yeah.
I normally shoot with a 270, and they go clean through and leave a hole about that big on the other side.
Yeah.
This didn't even go through.
Yeah.
There was no exit wound.
Mm-hmm.
This is designed to wound.
Yeah.
For war. That's what it was designed for, that round. And now it's a sporting rifle. It's a lot of fun to shoot.
Yeah.
It's really a lot of fun to shoot.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm not going to hunt with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a target gun. It's going to be a plinking gun. And it's like, I don't know. So to say that hit an assault rifle, I just hate that term.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
No. I'm just saying that you know, it was you know, they said that it was carried across state lines and, you know, all this other stuff. Now, for him to have that particular gun, could he own it?
Yeah, at 18 years old, my buddy Tyler could walk in a freaking gun store and buy a rifle like that. You're gonna be 21 to purchase a pistol,
right?
But that's a rifle. You can go to Walmart and buy a rifle or a shotgun.
So they were completely wrong about that.
Yeah.
Him not being old enough to own that particular firearm.
Yep, it's a semi-automatic rifle. They sell them at Walmart. They sell them at gun stores. You know, it's like, it's ridiculous how the media
twisted it.
Yeah. Yep. All against the AR-15.
Yeah.
You don't need no AR-14s with 30-round clipazines in them. You know, it's like
clipazines.
It's just
I've seen one of those with a bump fire stock that you can actually conceal and carry.
Yeah. Yep, bump fire stock, pistol length barrel. I mean,
ridiculous amount of fun.
The thing is with a firearm like that, after 12.5 inches a barrel, less than 12.5 inches a barrel, you're gonna have drastically smaller velocity.
Yeah.
To where it's ineffective.
Yeah.
I mean, pellet guns are stronger than that. Oh, maybe not. Don't quote me on that, I guess. But there's some pretty amazing pellet guns out there, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's like to get a bump stock and a short pistol, it would technically be sold as a pistol then, not as a rifle once the barrel's less than 16 inches.
Right.
Hair trigger. I was there today. Don't tell Mayor. I don't know if anybody's a Demolition Ranch fan, but he always buys new guns all the time. He's like, don't tell Mayor. I bought a new gun, his wife.
Yeah.
Don't tell my wife I was at Hair Trigger today. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I guess with the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, he was doing what he could to protect his community.
Yeah.
And it was very unfortunate that he had to do what he had to do to protect himself.
Yeah.
For someone to attack someone holding a rifle, and you had a skateboard,
yeah,
you're fucking dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you even do that?
Yeah.
I mean, even if you had a knife in a gunfight, obviously, it's an old saying,
Yep.
You're going to fucking walk up with a skateboard? Try and fucking do something with a skateboard?
Hit him twice with it in the neck. Hit him in the neck, knocked him down. Now, this is what I said when I had this conversation with someone. I was like, you clearly have never had your ass kicked.
Right.
Yep.
And
I mean, to the point where you've been mobbed on, you know what I mean? Like in a situation where one of your friends, you're at a party with your friends and your friend talks shit because you're the big guy behind him and he starts clobbering somebody and they start clobbering him and there's 5 of them on him and you go to break it up and you end up in the fray and you're down on the ground and they're stomping you from every direction.
That's what they say. You wouldn't be so eager to get in a fight if you've ever been in a real fight.
And that is truth. that is honest truth. If you've ever, everybody's a tough guy till you get punched in the face, and that's an honest truth right there.
I broke my collarbone stopping a fight once. It's like I didn't want to be in a fight. I didn't want him to fight. It was my party. I didn't want nobody fighting.
Yeah.
Fucking dove at a buddy and tackled him off another guy and went to the hospital the next morning. Yeah. It's like, damn.
Yeah, and the like I said, the kid showed incredible restraint with a firearm that shoots multiple rounds like that. You know what I mean? With a huge magazine, if he wanted to, right?
Yeah.
As running away from the situation, obviously he'd already murked one dude who, in my opinion, raped a 9-year-old boy and probably should have had that happen to him long before that.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. But
agreed.
And this is something that I really didn't understand either. Okay, so there was an African American gentleman that got shot. And this is what started this in Kenosha. The first guy that Kyle shot, the Rosenberg dude, is in a crowd with African Americans around him, right? And he's saying the N-word, saying, shoot me, N-word, shoot me, N-word, and he's saying it to other white people. There's black people around him that didn't turn around and slap the living dog shit out of him for saying that fucking word to begin with.
Right.
Blew my mind that you're going to allow that this little half-pint fucking ridiculous goon run his mouth like that. This is a representative of the cause that you're supposed to be representing here. You know what I'm saying? This is like backwards. You know what I'm saying? And the dude chases this kid down and ends up, threw a bag at him. That's what everybody said. He threw a bag at him and he shot him. He chased him down.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
There was a shot fired in the air in the area where they were at. There was a shot. Yeah. When he chased him around the car, there was someone shot into the air. Okay? The dude turns around. He thought the guy was shooting at him.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when you think someone's shooting at you? You're going to protect yourself. When he shoots the guy, he goes over, right? He tries to help the guy. The guy the reporter comes over. The camera's rolling. The dude's sitting there. He's got the mask on his face. They pull it off of his face. He's sitting there with the look like, oh, man, no more 9-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? He's done, right? So then, they're chasing him down the block. Everybody's saying he killed this dude. Get him, get him, get him.
Yeah.
He gets clobbered with a skateboard. He continues to keep running. He falls down on the ground.
Right.
One guy hits him again with the skateboard. The other dude, he gets shot. He falls down. The other dude jumps up, karate kicks him, pulls a gun out, points it at him. He sees the gun. What is he going to do?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, a skateboard is a deadly weapon at that point.
You hit me with it.
2x4?
It is. Yep. Anything.
It becomes a deadly weapon. You're being attacked with a deadly weapon.
Right.
And you have a firearm, you're going to defend yourself.
Well, here's the thing.
Wouldn't you?
This is my point to the geniuses of Facebook.
Yeah.
So, You get clobbered with that skateboard and you go sleepy nights. You're
Yeah.
going to tell me that the mob that just chased you down for shooting a guy, right? Once you get clobbered with the skateboard and you're sleeping there, they're
think
just
they're
going to
just
take
gonna-
your gun and they're going to go, shame on you,
Yeah.
and walk away.
Police are coming for
Yeah,
you. No,
yeah.
you're gonna get stomped into the ground by an
Right.
angry mob.
Right.
Yeah.
I
So-
don't know. I don't know what people don't understand about that.
Right.
I don't get that. It doesn't make any sense to me. What kind of thought process you could possibly have in your head to say you're not going to defend yourself if someone clobbers you with a skateboard, not once but
Right.
twice, and then another guy pulls a gun on you and you only you blast his arm to pieces. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I think he's got a good point there too. He says 30 rounds, only shot 3. That's true restraint right there.
Right.
He didn't panic. It just boom, 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 and shoot
Right.
that guy until he fell
And he
over.
could have. He
or
could.
shoot everybody else around
Who was
him.
coming after
Yes.
him? Yeah.
Yes.
And it's such a crazy situation. you
Yeah.
know?
Like I said, I hope and pray I never have to be in a situation like that. And I could talked about it with the wife, and she's like, she should have just never been there. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, that's arguable because he's protecting his, families, whatever, this and that. It's you're protecting your community. If there's people mobbing in the streets of Princeton, I guarantee Paul would be right next to me right now, and we'd be
Right.
holding AR-15s.
I definitely wouldn't look down on anybody that would be protecting their shit. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I know I have friends in the heart of Minneapolis during this whole protest thing that were out there protecting. They've got a tattoo shop on one corner, the guys from Lowbrow Saints.
Yeah.
All 4 corners, those people, there's a convenience store directly across from them.
Yeah.
They were helping them cats board their windows up so they didn't,
Right.
and it's a black-owned business. And then right next to them, right across the street from them, there's an insurance company there, and then on the other side, there's an automotive place, and they had some of their stuff,
Gone
broken
through.
and
Yeah.
bricks gone through shit.
Destroyed.
But those guys were in their parking lot, locked and loaded,
Yeah.
and just stayed there. I got a hold of Dave from Braxton and grabbed giant pieces of wood and brought him down to his tattoo shop, and he
Nice.
gladly gave up
Yeah.
some gift cards to Dave for doing that for him,
Nice.
because there was no wood in the whole town,
Yeah.
and we had a whole bunch just sitting in the back. So I
If
was
it
like,
wasn't burning.
yeah,
We had that whole job site go down. I remember.
two different spots that
Yeah.
had
I
issues.
remember watching that live stream. Somebody, who the heck was that? I think I still follow him. They were out there live streaming the camera, and I watched that freaking waiting for the crane to tip over is what I was looking at. It was
Dude, what's so
just-
crazy is we were
watching walls
2
peeling
weeks
off
away.
that
We were
building.
2 weeks away from pulling our machines out of there.
Yeah. I mean, how many machines did we burn down? JLGs and
2
Lulls?
JLGs, 1 crane.
Yeah. That crane alone, just imagine what that cost.
Yeah.
Let alone to rebuild that whole
Close to
fucking building.
200,000, and they just finished that building. I was just over there, Midtown Commons. I was just there.
Yeah.
I actually I have video that I haven't edited yet. That actually I have. My buddy took photos of a car burning in the corner from that building as it's going up. There's a car burning in front
Yeah.
of it. He took that photo,
Yeah.
sent it to the news, and it's been all over the place. But I was going to edit that all in, and then the Wendy's that got burnt to the ground, the Target and the Aldi, everything's all redone, and the
Wow.
AutoZone's 3 times the size of it
That's
what it
crazy.
was before.
It's all new again.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, thanks. You just made more work for us, but
Yeah.
still horrible shit, It's like,
Well, that whole, it was from that. If you think, where it started, okay, in the Floyd Square or whatever out in front of Cup Food, right,
right?
to Uptown, the distance between there to there,
Yeah.
and them destroying shit all the way, looting and just going into Uptown and throwing bricks through windows and shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I saw a fucking optics place where they sell glasses and shit.
Yeah.
Got their windows broken out. Like they just repaired them, and then the following week they got them broken out again. It was just ridiculous. People stealing everything. Phone shops not having phones in their thing, and
Right.
all of that. I appreciate you guys joining us in the chat. And Dennis Kern, I just played a couple tunes. I played one in the beginning and one in the middle there, buddy. And I'll do one at the end. Congrats on releasing the new album. Fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, it's awesome what I've heard of it.
Yeah, good stuff. And they just played in the entry last night with Impaler and Plague of Stars, I think. And then Gwar was over in the main room. at First Avenue. So that's pretty
Nice.
awesome show. It's like $1 crossover from Gore over to their
Nice.
show in the entry, which is fantastic.
That.
I miss playing at that place. What is crazy with the COVID restrictions everywhere. You know what I mean? You have to
Yeah.
have clean bill of health within, like, I think it's 72 hours,
Yeah,
or you
recent
have to have
test.
your vax card and
Right.
around your neck with a fucking whistle, and you know what I mean? You got to stand on one foot as you go
Fucking
through the
sad.
door. It
This
really
a
is.
sad fucking world we live in. It's fucking
I agree,
disgusting.
man. I agree, and you know it's so controversial to like actually have a conversation about it. And I was talking to these cats about
Just so tired of the
Yes.
conversation.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
I know you've got it. I've had it. Like my daughter had it. It's like it sucked. I know people die from it. That's
Yep.
horrible. But it's like just fucking sick of it. Just sick of it.
yeah. Oh, his daughter couldn't get in because she didn't bring her proof. That sucks, man.
That's
I
just so
was
dumb.
trying to think
I
of
mean, was she sick? I doubt it.
No.
Was she carrying it? I doubt it. Just
she
show me
had
your
it in a
papers.
small vial.
She should have just had the Star of David on her chest,
Yeah.
and they would have let her in.
You never know, man.
Yeah. It's like,
That's just so crazy, dude.
show me your papers.
Yep. The papers.
Bullshit.
Anything else that you would like to show over there that you got that you brought with you?
I don't know. If you're going to be in the woods, be a fucking ethical hunter. And I am a certified firearm safety instructor, and I do not teach my class like I have talked about firearm safety tonight, because like I said, we're normally in a church with kids.
Yeah.
But I know Greg likes to curse. I've heard some butthole talk on the podcast before. I know there's not many kids listening. I would like to encourage anybody to go out and take this class. It's very simple to become a firearm safety instructor. If you have any common knowledge of firearms and you want to help your local community and put on a class, the DNR is really good about, I mean, you simply call up to Camp Ripley's where the DNR office is, the main office, and they'll get you on a list. I get an email, sometimes 5-6 emails a week of instructor courses that are going on in different parts of the state.
Yeah.
Go out, get certified, get a group of people to back you and help you. And
So realistically, you could actually teach in a bunch of different places if you wanted to.
yeah, I could set up a class out here. I just literally call the DNR or call the lady at the DNR, say we're going to host a class here. They'll put it on their website. It'll fill up in like 42 seconds.
Yeah.
And we'll have dates and we'll have classes and we'll go do a field trip. And
Now, before you put this away, I wanted to actually get into those fatality things that you
that's right,
showed, because
yeah.
there was a chart that I thought was insane that he showed me from the time of the inception or whatever, right?
yeah, the firearms safety started in 1955, I think it is. And I guess there is another thing I'd like to say too. The Robertson-Pittman Act, which is a tax, which most gun-loving freedom lovers don't like taxes. But the Pittman-Robertson Act was signed in office by Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1937, and it's a tax on firearm sales, ammunition sales, and licensing sales.
Mhm.
So it's a 10% tax or 11% tax, and it literally goes right back into the wildlife, the conservation of wildlife, and the refuges and national parks.
Yeah.
So even it comes down to people who never hunt also benefit from the Pittman-Robertson wildlife management areas, and wetlands are useful to all nature lovers and watchers. Funds go towards management of all species, game and non-game alike.
Right.
So it's like that simple tax, and then it does also say, I'd like to point out, in 1971, thanks to Fred Bear.
Adam says 1955. Marty McFly started this.
Yeah, he actually went back and started this, yeah. And then brought back the almanac for me. We were looking for the stats on firearm-related accidents, which I got an old.
It was
book
in
and I
that
know
one, wasn't it?
I think it's in both, but I just, like I said, I should have studied a little bit before I just got it into this. I mean, I always, once I'm in class, it just clicks and I go, and I'm nervous for like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, you were saying that.
And then these kids just look up at you like, teach me.
Yeah. Show me
it's
something,
like-
man.
Yep, and then I just go. Usually
It's
works
the
out
beard takes over, dude. That's what it is.
something like that.
Yeah. I was surprised when you
Right
when
here.
you shaved it. I thought you were going to be like, when what's that guy? Was it Samson? When he loses his power for when they cut his hair.
So it shows, I guess I'll see, firearm safety students versus hunting accidents per 100,000. So does that mean it was 700,000?
I don't know.
It says per 100,000. Per 100,000 hunters. Okay. So from 1947 to 1957, there was over 700 accidents.
They were going willy-nilly Elmer Fudd style.
And you can see that this is there's 700 in 1947. So then from 58 to 68, it's going down. From 68 to 77, it's going down. And the total certified is coming up. So this is how many kids are out there and people are getting out there certified. And that's how far it has gone down in accidents and incidents. And then we also, my dad prints this off each year. This is, I think it is 11 different incidences or accidents that were reported last year through the 2020 year. And not a one of them is a fatal shooting. It goes, it says February 1st, 2020, someone was coyote hunting. It was a non-fatality. It was self-inflicted. It was a centerfire rifle. The guy was 53 years old. He was loading a firearm. The shooter/victim was on the road going to load his firearm when it went off, shooting him in the foot.
Oof.
Yeah, it's muzzle control.
I wonder if he's got a limp now.
Either way, he's got a little less dignity because he shot himself in the foot.
Right, right.
Simple as these guns laying here on the floor. It's like I'm not going to point them at each other, whether they're empty. You just.
I learned that as a kid because I did that with my cap gun to my grandfather who was in the war.
Swatted that thing out of your
Took it away and just said, "Don't you ever
I have the
point
hardest
that."
time with that with kids' Nerf guns. It's like unless I have eye protection and a Nerf gun in my hand, we're not doing that right now. You go shoot that thing at the wall, not my face.
Yeah.
So it's like, go out, get yourself educated. To hunt after, I should know this, after 81 or 79, to buy a firearms license, you have to have a firearm safety certificate. So we get 60-year-old guys that want to go hunt out of state.
Yeah.
To get an out-of-state or non-resident hunting permit, you have to have a firearm safety certificate.
Wow. So you do have older cats that come in there. It's not just kids.
Yep. Every once in a while, there's a 65-year-old guy or 60-year-old man sitting in the back, like, I'm trying to go out to Wyoming and fucking shoot a bull elk.
Right.
He's like, I didn't know I had to do this, so I'm hoping to get this in before season. And it's like, any questions you got? Let's hear them. Any stories you got? Let's hear them.
Yeah.
It's always great.
Here's some good ones.
Yeah, definitely. We were a couple of local kids, and know their dad. He's a union carpenter. He's grown up in the area, and kids have all hunted. They've not abused. They've outused their apprenticeship program for permits, and finally had to get them in to get a class so they can get their own license and hunt.
Yeah.
And I think 2 out of 3 of them shot monster bucks this fall.
Ooh.
So it's like, and the one kid, they're talking about. Talk about shooting vitals and ethical kill shot, and there's one picture of a deer pointing straight away, and it's like, is that a good shot? And he's like, yeah, it's a Texas heart shot, they call it. Right up the ass, It's like, it would work, yes. You shoot that thing straight up the ass, it's going to go dead through all its vitals and come out its chest with a high-powered rifle.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to hit the legs if you hit that thing dead center. You hit it low enough, you're not going to wreck any back straps or tenderloins. I wouldn't recommend it. It's going to be a nightmare to field dress, but...
Ooh, that smell.
yeah.
So show me some of them fancy things you got to go. Now show the trick one, the one that you like to trick the kids with. I thought that was awesome.
I like to go over all the different types of actions of firearms, and this is a break action firearm, very common, old school gun. I always ask kids, is this a rifle or a shotgun? And they're looking at it like, well, that's a break action shotgun usually. Well, that's a trick question because you can see in the camera there, that's a 22 long rifle on the top and a 410 shotgun on the bottom. So 410 shotgun is the same as a 41 long Colt. Anybody that knows stuff like that, calibers the shotgun gauge, they're comparable. You could put a brass cartridge in this thing. Mm-hmm. I shot a deer with this, the 410 slug.
Wow. And
it's a great small game gun. You got a squirrel that's real close, hit him with the 410 and a bird shot. You got him too far away, you put the little 22 through him.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure my uncle bought this. I just talked to him not long ago. I went and took his gutter covers off his house and replaced them. like, yeah, you still got that old Stevens 410-22? I said, I sure do. I'll never sell a gun, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I bought that. And I can't remember what he said. If it was, I bought that in 1976 or something for $86 from Sears.
Jesus.
And now it's probably worth $600-700 because
Right.
it's a plastic stock. It's kind of unique compared to the wood ones.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's the one I tricked the kids with.
That's a good one. Let me see the gold one.
Oh, yeah, I'll get to that. This is, everybody's probably seen a Glock. Not a fan of a Glock. My buddy actually lost rights to this one. Big fancy magazine release button. Oops, did that in Walmart. Lost his magazine, picked it up, unholstered his gun, put his gun back in his holster. Someone seen him do it. Called the cops, lost his rights for brandishing a firearm.
Wow.
Simple mistake. He should have picked his magazine up, put it in his pocket, kept walking.
Yep.
You live and you learn.
Yep.
So
So he is able to get his rights back after, what did you say, 2 years or something?
yeah,
like
he
that?
was probation for 2 years. He's actually, we just haven't been able to make time to meet up at the police department and sign the gun back to him. He's got all his release papers, everything's good. We went in there and he said, oh, he didn't have this, so
Yeah.
we couldn't do it. So it's still in my name legally.
Right. That's a third party sale, right? Or transfer, something like that.
No, actually, the police department signed it over to me.
Oh, okay.
So I guess I'm not sure what that would be considered, but my knee hurts now. Sitting down too long. I'm old. This one, a beautiful gun, made right over in Wisconsin. It's a Henry repeating arms, lever action gun. Many rifles made like this. You ever
Yeah.
seen any John Wayne movie?
Oh, yeah.
He's carrying something like this. Bigger caliber. This
Yep.
is just a 22 long rifle. But beautiful octagon barrel. Just beautiful woodwork. Polished gold finish. The Golden Boy. Absolutely love this gun. Tags hanging on it because he still hasn't came over to my house and shot it yet. So he goes and he gives me the gun the other day. He's like, just don't shoot it. I'm like, I kind of want to. You know? It's like,
Yeah.
it's so tempting because
It's beautiful,
it's
dude.
daylight in my backyard. I can shoot in my backyard.
Yeah.
I love it where I live, you know?
Yeah.
It's even got the brass butt plate on it. I mean,
Yeah. It's sharp, man.
probably
When you pulled that bad boy out and you start pulling the
pull
cover
sock
off of it, I was
'cause
like,
it's brand
man,
new. Yeah.
that thing's sweet. And I did notice the tags on it right away. I'm like,
Yep.
dang, man.
Price tag on this thing
That
still?
thing's sharp, dude.
Yeah, I know. My dad really wants they call it the big boy. There's a Golden Boy and a big boy. And
Yeah.
The big boy's a 357 Magnum in this.
Yeah.
So then it's got the bigger feet too. But that's a cord.
Don't do that. Even though I got action once.
That's another fun one too. Well, I mean, I say it's just a 22 because
Yeah.
it's small, but we all know a 22 can travel up to 2 miles.
Yeah.
And can be fatal, for sure. You
Oh,
shoot
yeah.
someone in the right spot. I mean,
I'll pinball you one good once. Right
Yeah.
behind the ear, your Dunskies.
a lot of newer revolvers, the cylinder tips out. This
Yep.
is really old school where you're ejecting every single round out of that
Yeah.
chamber one at a time. So
Yeah.
shoots as fast as lightning, but it loads a mite slow, they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, fancy little gun with the case hardened steel on there. It looks real sexy.
Yeah. That's pretty sharp, man.
You know, but I just we like to bring in every type of firearm and show the kids different all the different actions. And
Yeah, when he pulled up, he's like, "Hey, man, you got to come out here and help me carry the stuff in." Like, he told me he was going to bring a couple over, and I was like, "Okay, he'll have this one or that one," and he brings in four cases or whatever. And yeah, it's pretty cool, dude. I appreciate you bringing all that stuff in. That's fucking badass.
this one's excuse me, fairly new to me.
Your assault rifle?
It's not a fucking assault rifle. It's a plinking gun.
Plinking.
But this one's cool too, because like somebody walks into my bedroom or someone breaks into my house, it's just gonna be like I know what I'm doing here or something. And it's go time right there. Simple as that. And it says life in the gutter.
Yeah.
Because I literally hung some gutters with a buddy.
Yeah.
And he bought me this firearm.
Nice.
Because we went to a mutual friend's house and she had asked me, "Do you know anybody that does gutters still? I know you used to do gutters." I'm like, "Well, yeah, call your buddy. You know him." Go over there and he's like, "Well, come help me. There's a couple long runs." I'm like, "Okay." So at the end of the day, he's like, "Oh, I'll give you some money." I'm like, "I don't worry about it, you know. Give it back to them, you know, let them save the money on the deal." He's like, "Oh, you just don't need money?" I'm like, "No, I make a fair wage." He's like, "Oh, you just got everything you want. You don't even fucking need money, huh?" I'm like, I'm comfortable in life, you
Yeah.
know. I'm not trying to brag or nothing, but it's like
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good in life. So it's like, no, dude, don't worry about it. Give it back to them or whatever. They fed us and gave me a beer. It's fine. He's like, well, I thought you said you wanted an AR. I'm like, okay, buy me an AR. He's like, well, you didn't work that fucking much today.
Yeah.
I said, well, you got more of this. We can do this again. He's like, all right. So my neighbors asked me, wanted some gutters. They wanted their whole house done. They wanted the big expensive covers on them and everything. So call up my buddy, give him the job. He's like, if they want what they say they want,
I'm going to need your help.
and they're going to take this number I give them,
Yeah.
we're going to go to frickin' the gun shop next week and get you a rifle. And I'm just like, okay. So here I am
Ears
with this new
perked up.
rifle. Just like, I worked like 2 Saturdays for this thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
and it's got a big old bull barrel, so this thing should be just deadly accurate out to 400 yards.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got a stupid little red dot on it, which is questionable.
Yeah.
That's why for Christmas, if you're wondering, I'm a size 1 to 3, 24 millimeter LPVO. Low power variable optic. So it's like, they're smaller because you don't want a full size giant scope on this because it's obsolete. You want to be able to shoot short range and long range. So it's like low power 1 to 3 is fine. I never shoot anything in the woods further than 60 yards anyways because we hunt in the woods.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece, man. I like that.
And it was dirt cheap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Will work for guns. Yes, I will.
Absolutely, man. Well, dude, thank you very much for doing this, man, and coming in. And I know you were a little nervous at first, and then when we started, as it got closer, we're like,
going.
yeah, dude, it goes pretty good. Like you said, man, you get a little nervous when you first start your course, and
I just wonder. I can't imagine Chase and Ella and Grandpa Chuck are watching anymore. I hope not.
Yeah. So what?
Not that we were that inappropriate.
How can people get taught by the old beard?
To get taught by me, you got to get in line pretty quick because there's lots of little kids in Princeton that want to do this, and I have friends and family come out of the woodwork like, hey, I need to get my kid in a class. It's like, well, unfortunately, I can't just put you on the VIP list. We post our stuff. It goes up on the DNR webpage. The best thing you could do is go to the DNR's webpage and look for them close to your area. We've had people come from all over the place to get into a class.
This was dope. Thank you for all the information about the gun safety.
Yeah,
thanks for tuning in, bro. I appreciate it very much.
As little as I actually hit on, I mean, there's lots of information in this manual. It's from just identifying every part of a gun to, like I said, just the 5 different carries, the prone position shooting, how they, we shoot. We put the kids on a range and they shoot in 5 different, they shoot standing, they shoot kneeling, they shoot sitting, and then prone laying down.
Do they do any rolls or any kind
of? No, that's another thing I was going to mention too. Is that as my dad's a firearm safety instructor, me and 2 of my buddies are at my dad's house, and luckily my dad wasn't there. But buddy grabs a pistol.
He's going to smack you when he sees you next.
He's in the backyard, and it was fairly safe, I will say. But he shoots a couple rounds, drops down to one knee, shoots a couple rounds, and fucking rolls on the ground and fucking shoots a couple rounds laying down. I'm like, dude, knock it off. He's like, I kept it down range all the time. I'm like, you were lucky my dad's not here. He would have pistol whipped you and you would have never came back. It's like,
Craig, don't ever let him come back.
Right? Yeah.
You're not welcome here. Right? Go home.
I mean, he did keep it down range, so it's like, it was fairly safe. It was reckless. Yeah. But that's them Stone boys, Nate and Nick. They were good friends.
You see Keanu Reeves shoot an actual gun.
He is very proficient with a gun.
Yeah.
He shoots some 3-gun stuff, and he is very good.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I saw him on some thing where they were doing like a celebrity challenge, and he was just smoking everybody.
I've seen the facility, or not personally seen, but online I've seen videos of where he trains at and does the run and gun, 3-gun stuff, and it's impressive.
Yeah.
Because as much as I can shoot, and I'm pretty damn good at putting the sights together and hitting what I'm aiming at, to do it fast and 10 times in a row, I mean, it's like, it's crazy. I got a couple videos on YouTube where I'm holding my phone, shooting, and I'm hitting the target, and I think the video's titled plink, 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 miss, plink, 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 because it was a full magazine. I missed one, just like, I looked at my phone a couple times to make sure I was in frame as I'm doing it, too, It's like, we were shooting in the backyard one time, shooting clay pigeons, and then we started shooting pistols, and someone made a joke about hitting a clay pigeon with a pistol.
Yeah.
It's like, my carry pistol has a 2 1/4 inch barrel, I think. And I'm like, if you can throw clay pigeons down at the target board with the backstop, we'll try this. So I started throwing clay pigeons, and I think the third one, they said I hit it. I'm like, you sure it didn't hit the backstop? They're like, no, you fucking hit it. I'm like, so I hit a flying clay pigeon with my pistol.
That's awesome.
And then I still have the dollar bill taped to my garage wall when I shot clay pigeons in the backyard with my brother. And it's like, the way that shotgun works, you can hold the pistol grip and the stock sits under your forearm.
Yeah.
And you can hold that shotgun out there like that. And he's like, let's see you hit a clay pigeon like that. I'm like, throw one. Poof, hit it. He's like, dollar says you can't do it again. I'm like, throw one. Poof, hit it again. Just like,
you got 100
give me
on
my
that?
fucking dollar. And I still got that dollar.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's a keepsake right there.
I think I do have a video on YouTube. I have like 129 videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
But they're all just cheesy, crusty shit. But there's one video I have that's like 15,000 views somehow.
Wow.
Me jumping a four-wheeler.
Nice.
But we were shooting. You can't hardly tell, but me and a buddy were shooting pistols, and it's like we're getting bored of shooting at a paper target. So we put nails on top of the target board.
Yeah.
At 15, 20 feet, we're trying to shoot nails, 16 penny nails off the top of the target board, and we ended up hitting a couple of them. It's like
sick.
It's just, the more you shoot, the more you do it, the more you have fun. It's unfortunately ammo prices skyrocketed, and
That's what I hear.
Gets to be a little more expensive to have some fun. I mean, for your assault rifle rounds, used to be a frickin'
What are you talking about?
12 cents a
I've
piece.
never been assaulted by that rifle.
That gun, actually, that shotgun right there has literally sat on my fucking front porch overnight, never hurt no one, never ran away and shot anybody either. And it's all black and looks fucking vicious. Literally woke up one morning like, oh shit, my shotgun's sitting on the front porch still.
Whoops.
Glad it's still there.
Yeah.
Glad it didn't walk off and shoot someone.
Ah, spooky.
Yeah.
That's a spooky one.
You know?
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I appreciate you coming up and doing this. I appreciate it very much. And,
yeah, once again, I guess I was going to start and say a little disclaimer here. This is not, I mean, I am certified by the Minnesota DNR as background check. I learned from the regional training officer. Yeah. But this is not my class. This is, you know.
This is having fun.
Yes, this is just, spreading some knowledge of it.
Yep, a little bit of information, having a chuckle or two, and not, you know, we're not all on the weed, man.
No, don't mix guns and drugs and alcohol, please.
Yes.
Don't. It's not.
Call in poachers too.
Yeah, if you see someone doing something wrong, even if it's your fucking Uncle Bob, tell your Uncle Bob he's doing it wrong. And if he doesn't change his ways for him, because he's gonna wreck it for your kids or your chance to do it too. You know.
Yeah, do it too.
Same with people ice fishing. You see people leaving trash out on the lake, pick it up and throw it in their face and call them a pig.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta respect your habitat. You know, it's our fucking land too, not just this animal's land. You know.
Yeah. I hate that. You know, when you're out on your boat and you see shit floating around, we always pick stuff up.
Yeah.
When we had our pontoon, we would always roll over and pick everybody's trash up all over the fucking lake.
Why is he asking where I live? You fucking know where I live, bro.
He wants to make sure that thing doesn't. It'll walk off the porch this time.
Yeah, that's right. I sit on the porch. Yeah. Where do you live? You know where I live. Come at me, bro. Come at me, Paul. Just kidding. He's got more guns than I do, I'm pretty sure.
Well, again, thank you guys for tuning it in. Thanks for enjoying the show. I hope you did, anyways. Hope everybody's safe and in their homes and not out driving around like we're going to be here in a little bit. So be safe, y'all. Enjoy your weekend with your families and all that other good stuff. Oh shit, I went too far there. Do me a favor and check out Anti-Broadcasting Incorporated, custom screen printing. If you're looking to get some screen printing done, these guys are fantastic. Fast turnaround, always great materials that they use for everything. Antibroadcasting@gmail.com or 612-836-9488. If you're looking to get tattooed, please go check out Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective, 612-353-4755. Lowbrow Saints at Gmail. And to go out here, we've got another, the last tune that we're going to play from Semtex off the War Within album. Available, streaming now on all the streaming platforms. Again, the War Within, Semtex. The final song here is Self-Destroy. And thank you again, brother. I appreciate you coming in and hanging out and doing the show with me.
Thanks for having me.
We'll have to do it again.
I'd be glad to.
All right, cool. We won't bring any guns, and maybe we'll have a beer or two next time.
That sounds fun, too.
When they're not snowing outside.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Peace out.